at the welterweight division, and he gotta take a back seat and take that 60-40 or 70-30, wherever we give him.
If we fight, it's going to be either 70-30, 80-20. What was that?
Man, I was when
Is
I
that
said
posturing or what was that?
When did I say that?
You know, that was.
Yeah, I said it on my girl Instagram. What's going? But I was playing. Hey, man, ain't nobody taking no 80-20, 70-30. Yeah, I was playing. I was like, because I was like, it's gonna be 60-40, and I was like, yeah, he keep playing crazy. It's gonna be 70-30 or 80-20. But yeah, I was playing. I wasn't serious about that, man. Like, people can't take jokes.
I was fooling y'all. Those was jokes. Woo! Woo!
Man, sit your ass down.
So what do I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video.
Oh, look at this guy.
So before I get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean?
You won the belt with nobody.
Alright, so cool. Y'all see what the title of the video is. Terence Crawford offered a 3-fight, $14 million deal from the PBC. According to sources, though, right? Y'all know how the sources be. The sources be here, the sources be there, the sources be everywhere, goddamn. But according to sources, the PBC offered Terence Crawford a 3-fight, $14 million deal, and
Jesus Christ.
I think this information is fascinating. Very curious information indeed. The kind of information that really raises much more questions, you know what I mean? Like, the biggest questions that I can think of right now that pops into my mind is, okay, so if Terence Crawford is making $14 million for 3 fights, which averages to be maybe about $4 million a fight, the biggest question is, what's Errol making? If Bud is making $4 million a fight for 3 fights, what's Errol making?
Bitch ass motherfucker.
And then my next question that I would also need answered in order to fully kind of get an opinion of this situation, right? Which would be, is this including the pay-per-view back end? Like, that's a very important question. Like, these are very important questions. Am I taking $4 million, that's it? Or am I taking $4 million and I'm getting my pay-per-view back in? You know what I mean? Like, I need to know these things in order for me, like, based on the answers that I get from those two questions, I'm going down different paths as far as how I feel about this offer. But I feel like we need to know that in order to properly be able to have an opinion about it. You know what I mean? One thing that I will say, though, is just based on the guaranteed money, if we're assuming that this is guaranteed money, just based on the guaranteed money, we can easily surmise that $4 million is definitely less than Terence Crawford's guaranteed money when he fought Sean Porter, which was $6 million. So, like, right off the rip, it's very alarming. Right off the rip, there's a red flag immediately. And we don't even know the particulars, right? We don't know how much Errol Spence is making, because there's a possibility he could be getting paid more than Bud Crawford, which is crazy. We don't know if that includes pay-per-view back end, because it could either be a bad deal or a super horrible deal. If this is a $4 million just flat per fight thing, this is a horrible deal for Terence Crawford. If it's $4 million plus pay-per-view back end, it's a better deal, but still not the kind of deal that a Bud Crawford should be having to take at this particular point in his career.
I know that.
Again, like I mentioned, Terence Bud Crawford made $6 million in his last fight with a Showtime Sean Porter. So this means that he would be taking a $2 million pay reduction from his last fight, guaranteed. And then on top of that, we don't know what Errol Spence is doing. And we know these niggas like to talk this 60, 40, 70, 30 bullshit already. So you mean to tell me that Terence Bud Crawford is not only going to have to take a $2 million pay cut, but at the same time, he's going to have to take a 60-40 split?
Oh, look at this guy.
I mean, this is just hard to stomach. Like, honestly and truly. If I'm Terence Bud Crawford, I don't like none of it, honestly. And honestly, this looks like more fucking ducking on behalf of Errol Spence Jr. and the PBC. This is more of them not taking this seriously as far as trying to make the fight with a Terence Bud Crawford. But again, I said it before and I say it again. Bud Crawford has already shown that he's interested in this fight by doing all the things that he did, by collecting the belt. When Errol and Keith told him to collect the belt, he collected the belt. Okay, by waiting on the easy route, the 4 long years of easy route, Bud waited. He already showed he's interested in the fight by firing his promoter. You said that Bob Arum was a problem. You said blame Bob and he was an issue. Bud Crawford said, okay, I hear you. You want me to fire Bob to make the fight? Bob is fired. Side of the street eliminated. I'm over here on your side. Let's make the fight. And then on top of that, you want him to take a pay cut? You want him to take $2 million less than he made in his last fight with a Bob Arum? And you want them to take a 60-40 split? You niggas need to really? I just need to know. For you niggas who agree with this bullshit, I need to know. Would you be okay with taking less money on your job for doing more work?
Just got beat by like a basic foundation.
Would you take less money on your job for doing more work? You niggas wouldn't even be okay with a 25% decrease on your motherfucking. You wouldn't be okay with a motherfucking 25 cents reduction on your pay, let alone a $2 million pay cut.
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck out of here.
You niggas may be short on a few things, but nerve is not one of them. You know what I mean? You want Terence Bud Crawford to take a pay cut. You want Terence Bud Crawford to cross the street. You want Terence Bud Crawford to get a belt first. You want Terence Bud Crawford to wait while Errol Spence collect all his belts on his side of the street. You want Terence Bud Crawford to take a 60-40, 70-30, 80-20 split, even though Showtime executive Steven Espinoza said,
you know, if it's not 50-50, it's pretty close. It's not 50-50, it's pretty close.
Not 50-50, it's pretty close.
I know that.
yet and still you niggas still go on and on and on with this bullshit. You niggas always got a new thing and a new task and a new agenda for Terence Bud Crawford, but nothing for Errol Spence Jr. I just need one of you niggas to pull up on me one day and tell me exactly what has Errol Spence done or sacrificed in order to get a fight with a Terence Bud Crawford. What work has this nigga put in? I know what you niggas want to say. You niggas want to say Errol Spence has been doing the heavy lifting. Errol Spence has been doing the heavy lifting. That's what you niggas are gonna say, right? Right? Errol Spence got in there with Danny Garcia. Errol Spence got in there with Phil LaGreco and Carlos Ocampo. He got in there with them killers. He got in there with a Kell Brook that Bud Crawford stopped. He got in there with a Sean Porter that Bud Crawford stopped. You know what I mean? But I know you want to say, oh, he collected all his belts on his side of the street and da 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 da. So much heavy lifting, right? But my thing is, if that's heavy lifting, Errol Spence collecting the 3 belts at welterweight, what do you call Bud Crawford collecting 8 belts in 3 weight divisions? I'm just really trying to figure this out. If what Errol is doing is heavy lifting, what do you call Bud Crawford collecting 8 belts in 3 weight divisions? Make it make sense for me, y'all. I just want to know, what street has this nigga crossed? What pay cut has this nigga taken? Tell me one thing Errol Spence has done in order to get a fight with a Terence Bud Crawford.
He's an email channel. He's fighting because somebody mailed him the belt.
You can't tell me that because nothing's been done. Errol Spence has in turn done the opposite and created barriers and reasons for why the fight can't happen. And this sounds like it's probably another one. You know what I'm saying? And again, man, this is according to source. You know what I'm saying? Again, man, we don't know about these sources. We don't know what the fuck going on. We don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know. We don't know what's going on at the end of the day. But I tell you one thing. These sources line up with what your boy King David been saying this whole time. In regards to Bud Crawford being lowballed. In regards to what Bernie the boxer said.
I figure I'm wondering if my boy gonna get the fight. Every day I'm getting asked about the fight. They waving, they stopping me. What's going on? Everybody think I know what's going on. And I'm gonna tell you what's going on. I'm just gonna give you my opinion of what's going on. It's a conspiracy of Bud Crawford. It's a conspiracy.
It lines up with what we talking about. You know what I mean? But again, it's sources. You know, it's sources. But you niggas who cape for Errol Spence and doing all this capping for Errol Spence, you niggas really need to take a look in the mirror. You need to take a look in the mirror and you need to ask yourself this question. What has Errol Spence done in order to get a fight with a Terence Bud Crawford? A guy he should be gunning to fight. Other than arbitrarily say his name with some weak ass call out 4 years later. You know what I'm saying? Other than say, we'll see for the last 4 years. What has Errol Spence done in order to get a fight with a Terence Bud Crawford? I just need to know. You know what I mean? You niggas kill me. But in any case, man, I'm gonna wrap the video up right here. Let me know what your thoughts is. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, I'ma holla at y'all. Peace.
I say Terence Crawford.
Yes.
You know, that fight's gonna happen. Hopefully he beats Jeff Horn and gets that belt. And like I said, I want to be undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
Wait till he get a belt.
Yeah.
He ain't did nothing in the welterweight today.
You
When he
have
get
did
a belt,
nothing.
when he
You
get a
have
belt,
did
you want to
You have
go
did
over
nothing.
there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so
Okay.
why?
Okay. Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean
this-
Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why am I go to easy road and knock Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and knock Sean Porter out?
So why am I go to easy road and not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and not Sean Porter out?
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck out of here.
I know that.
Yeah, what it do? What it do? What it do, everybody, man? What it do? It's your boy King David in this thing, man. What it do? You know what I mean? Salute to all the real boxing fans out there. You know what I mean? So we got people already in the motherfucking building. Salute to all the real boxing fans out there, man. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button one time for your boy. You know what I mean? Hit that like button. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody in the building. D-Ray Promotions in the building. My guy G Park in the building. Mike Rim in the building. My guy Knockout Boxing 86 TV also in the building. Let me check my sound. Let me make sure my sound good because y'all know how my sound do. before I keep going. Hold on. Bear with your boy a minute. Hold on 1 second. Let me check this sound. Okay, we good. Sound is good. We on point. Yeah, man. I see we got Knockout Boxing 86 TV in the building. My guy Terry Smoot Jr. in the motherfucking building. #1 troll in the United States. You know what I mean? Also in the building. You know what I'm saying? My guy Not Zay in the building. Salute to you, fam. Our Janice Barber, one of my day one subscribers, also in the building. Salute to you, AB. You know what I mean? My guy Cash in the building. Salute to you. You know what I'm saying? Who else in the building? Bobby D. Salute to you, fam, for in the building. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. We got peoples up in the building, man. So y'all see what the title of the live is, man. We're gonna get all the way into it. But before that, I got a poll going right now. So let's take a look at the poll. I got a poll popping off right now. And the question is, do y'all agree with Bomac, right? And of course, the question is, Bomac did an interview, right, where he was saying that he believes this fight is a 50-50 fight, right? He believes that Terence Crawford has the leverage. He believes that this is a 50-50 fight, according to Bomac, right? So I did a poll asking whether or not y'all agree with Bomac, and I'm going to go ahead and read the results of the poll. Right now, as it stands right now, I got 62% of everybody in the building saying, yes, big boy facts. We agree with Bomac, you know what I mean? I got 21% of y'all saying, no, he should make the fight anyway, you know what I mean? So I guess y'all don't agree with the 50-50, but should do what he needs to do to make the fight according to the 20% that's out here. You know what I'm saying? I got 12% of y'all that's saying the fight ain't happening. I know for a fact my guy AB voted for that one on a goddamn poll. And I got 4% of y'all talking about, I don't care, bro. I really don't care. And I understand y'all. The people who don't care, I understand. I get it. I really do get it, bro. Like, we don't care about this shit. At the end of the day, it ain't really our business what niggas get. But the ugly part of this is that these kind of details, these kinds of conversations, this kind of bullshit going on in the background, these are the kind of things that either help or hurt fights from happening. You know what I'm saying? So the 4% that voted I don't care, I feel y'all, but at the end of the day, we got to talk about this shit because it's just conducive to whether or not the fight is going to get done or not. You know what I mean? So that's the poll. Let me go through the comment section and then I'm going to go ahead and proceed to cook like you know I'm going to cook. You know what I mean? So let's look at these comments. Let me see what y'all talking about out here in these boxing highways and byways. And again, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that goddamn like button and subscribe. You know what I mean? We do that boxing talk all day, every day over here on Box or Die. But salute to y'all. But let's keep it going. Let me look at these comments. Let me see what y'all talking about. So my guy D-Ray Promotions, he say 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season. Bud Crawford, pound for pound king. Show me the money. I feel you. I feel you on that D-Ray Promotions. My guy G Parker say they don't have the leverage, but this is a 50-50 fight to me. Yeah, okay. I hear you, G. I hear you. Mike Rim in the building. He says, what up, everybody? That's some bullshit. That's some bitch ass shit, is what he's saying. He done blurted out for us. He said, that's why Spence at 147 so long, people be hiding the belt and wearing suspenders. Okay. I hear you, Mike Rim. Okay, my guy Knockout Boxing 86 TV said, I know Shirley, my bro, my homie KD is not about to. I imagine that's a cap emoji for Bomac said what Bomac said. I just know it. Well, we're gonna get all the way into it, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a few details we need to discuss before we get into the meat and potatoes on whether or not Bud Crawford should get this 50-50 split or not. You know what I mean? I think you know my position on the 50-50 knockout, but we're gonna go into it. We're gonna shed some light on some details here in this particular live that you more than likely gonna disagree with, but that's why we had a conversation at the end of the day. But let's keep it going. Terry Smoot got the eyeballs. Terry Smoot says, another Bud Crawford echo chamber. I see. Here we go with this bullshit. Okay, Terry Smoot. It's a lot of Errol Spence echo chambers out there on the internet. So I just hope you keeping the same energy when you strolling and trolling on these boxing streets. But knowing you, Terry, I'm pretty sure you are keeping that energy. You troll Bud fans just as much as you troll Errol Spence fans. I'm pretty sure. I don't even know the track record, but I'm pretty sure. My guy Knockout Boxing say smash that like button as you come on in the building. Yes, sir. you're preaching the gospel right there. Knockout, absolutely. G Parker says, okay, y'all talking. Nat Zay says, Bud, pay that man. Absolutely. You gotta pay the man, Terence, Bud, motherfucking Crawford, if you want to get him in a motherfucking ring, because at the end of the day, that man brings a lot to the table. So pay that man. Especially if you want him to take anything less than 50-50. But let's not go too far, too fast. One thing at a time. My guy Nat Zay. Okay, let's keep it going. Nat Zay also says, Bud got a better career than Errol. He got the belts, and he got the belt, and he's the A side, but pay Bud. You know what I'm saying? Pay Bud. Hey, and we're going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that. My guy AB say, salute my G. Yes, sir. AB in the motherfucking building. He said the fight will not happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, my boy AB been saying this for the longest. You know what I'm saying? He been saying this for the longest, you know. But I just hope that he wrong. I can only hope that he's wrong, but shit. You know, there's a lot of evidence to support what my guy is talking about, but let's keep it going. AB says, hit that like button for my G. We got 18 watching, only 7 likes. Let's get it. Big boy facts right there, AB. We need more likes. Let me see what the likes said right now, because y'all out here, it seems like y'all out here hating on me. Okay, we have 14 likes now. Okay, that's what's up. We moving up in the world, but I got 22 people in the building. Can we get some of y'all to hit that goddamn like button one time for your boy? You know what I mean? Whether you like what I'm saying or you don't, hit the goddamn like button so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. But let's keep it going though. My guy Cash is saying, I just want to see the fight. I don't care about the semantics anymore. And I can respect that, Cash. Like, we, at the end of the day, bro, we all just want to see the fight, man. I think we can all, for the most part, agree that we want to see the fight. You know what I'm saying? But these are the kind of things that keep the fight from happening. You know what I mean? Like these little negotiations, you know, these little 60-40, 70-30s, 80-20s, easy rolls, all these different little excuses. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, if two fighters want to fight, nothing can stop them from fighting, in my opinion. That's always been my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But according to these niggas out here, the narrative that they push in regards to why these fights can't happen, you know, we need to make sure we address them properly. That way we can eliminate all the excuses. But let's keep it going. Terence Moore Jr. Okay, you talking to G Parker. Okay, y'all chatting back and forth. My guy Bobby D in the building. He say PBC doesn't care about black boxers. They actually hurt black boxers by devaluing them. And that's on Heyman and Floyd. I want Bud to continue to fight for the black man. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. PBC, man, look. There's a lot of people out here who really like the PBC. They really rock with the PBC. And I think there's a lot of evidence to support the fact that PBC does not support black boxers the way they should. I mean, if we look at Jamal Charlo right now, we look at Gary Russell Jr., we look at some of these fighters that can't get fights, some of these fighters that still aren't able to secure the big fights. I did a video today that came out about Andre, right? And how a lot of people are mad at Andre. And we're not going to talk about that too much, but a lot of people say that Andre's career is crazy. Well, the thing about it is, and they say that Andre's career is crazy and they blame him signing to DAZN, right? For Andre's career being the way it is, right? As far as him signing to DAZN, as far as him signing the promotional companies that he signed with before in the past. But if you look at Jamal Charlo, you look at his career is very similar to Demetrius Andrade's, right? Like you look at his situation, and his situation ain't that different. He ain't been in none of the big fights. He ain't fight none of the guys that we want to see him in the ring with. He ain't get a Canelo or a Triple G yet. He's in the same boat as a Demetrius Andrade, right? But he's with the PBC, right? He's with the PBC. He's with the promotional company that's supposed to be the biggest and the baddest out there. But yet and still, he's in the same position as Demetrius Andrade. So y'all got to make that shit make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to make that shit make sense to me. Hold on. We got a super chat in the building. My guy Cash coming in with the super chat one time for your boy. He says, if Fury versus Usyk get booked before a Bud versus EJ announcement, I'm a riot. hey, and that's another thing we're gonna talk about today, because there was a tweet that came out from a reporter, right? And we're gonna talk about it, but apparently Tyson Fury, the rumor that came out was that fight is supposed to be a 50-50 fight, y'all. Like apparently we're gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna do too much right here now, but that's definitely a part of the conversation. But let's keep it going now. Let's keep it going. Let's keep going down these comment sections, seeing what y'all talking about out here on these boxing streets. You know what I mean? Let's see here. My guy, the villain in the motherfucking building, he says 5150 in my Easy E voice, Bud by stoppage. I totally agree with you, man. 9th or 10th round stoppage if he ever get Errol Spence in the ring with him. Point blank, period. My guy, Bobby D, says, damn straight, why ain't Charlo in a pound for pound list? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Y'all talk all this shit about Andrade should have signed with the PBC, and PBC is the place to be, and all these different things about PBC, but you got fighters that are on the PBC, a part of the PBC, they still can't get their hands on the big fights, just like a Demetrius Andrade, except in a lot of cases, they getting paid less than a Demetrius Andrade and other guys who are signed to the zone, right? So the PBC ain't all that great. They got fighters over there that ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing. Even when you look at some of these fighters, right, that are on the PBC, maybe you could say that they promote a little bit better in certain ways, but they're not getting these fights. If you look at Bud Crawford's career, Bud Crawford has done in the same 10 years that Errol Spence has had. He's been in 3 weight classes, been undisputed in his 3rd weight class, trying to collect undisputed again. So who's moving a fighter better between PBC and Top Rank, right? If we comparing it like that, you know. But dudes don't want to talk about that. Let's just keep it moving, though. My guy Greg Williams in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, fam. He says, fight done, will be an announcement during Wilder fight for January 14th. So that means, if based on what you're saying, Greg, that means the fight ain't happening until next year, which is a damn shame. I mean, a damn shame, you know, because for me, I think the longer the fight takes to happen, the less likely it is to happen, you know. But I mean, the fight happening next year is better than the fight not happening at all. I hope it's announced before then, but you know, if it turns out it's next year, it's next year. You know what I'm saying? But I hope you're right there, Greg Williams. I hope you're right. My guy, Air Softener, the chef in the building. Salute to you, fam. He says, salute Boxer Die. Brooklyn, New York is in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, fam. I was just in Brooklyn, actually, probably about 2 weeks ago, but salute to you, fam. Brooklyn, New York in the motherfucking building. Salute to everybody, all my Brooklyn, New York people in the building. Salute to y'all. You know what I'm saying? My guy sleep with one eye open in the motherfucking building. Salute to you. He said, salute King David. Yes, sir. We in the motherfucking building today. Sleep with one eye open also says the PBC never wanted to fight with Errol. Probably one fight more at a time at 147, then move up to 154 pounds and duck Crawford and Boots. I agree, man. They never wanted to fight with Errol Spence Jr., bro. There's just too many receipts, too many facts, too many things to back up the fact that the PBC and Errol Spence Jr., and I'm just going to say Errol Spence Jr. I don't even like bringing up PBC when we're talking about whether or not the dude wanted to fight. Errol Spence Jr. never wanted to fight with Bud Crawford. You know what I mean? But the fight may end up happening. But let's keep it going. Greg Williams says, Wilder fights October 15th, January 15th, 3 months later, and NFL will promote fight. Oh, man. That's still too long for me, Greg. Greg Williams also says it's done. I hope you're right. Mike Rim says he did all that, and his toughest opponent, he said he did all that, and his toughest opponent, he said, was Gamboa. Okay. Gamboa is a 3-weight world champion, if I'm not mistaken, Olympic gold medalist, if I'm not mistaken. And at the time he fought Bud Crawford, he was an undefeated fighter. So, you know, a lot of people like to throw a lot of smut on Yuriorkis Gamboa's name, but we're not going to sit here and pretend like Yuriorkis Gamboa wasn't a top guy. He wasn't the guy in his day. He wasn't a 3-weight division champion, wasn't an undefeated fighter. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're not going to sit here and do that. But that's all the comments, man. Let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of what it is we're going to be talking about, right? Let's go ahead and get into it, because this is going to be a live that's going to be riddled with facts, you know what I'm saying? You know, as I usually do, but it's going to be a little more facts than I usually provide, you know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna be pulling receipts and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, in order to get some of these dudes right out here on these boxing streets, right? Okay, so with all that said, man, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the live before I drop the link like I inevitably will. But the meat and potatoes is just what the title of the live is, bro. Bomac came out and he said 50-50 or no fight. He said that we have the leverage, right? Now, before I get into what Bomac said, let's talk a little bit about, before I get into what Bomac said, let's discuss the fact that it's like this, right? The reason for me actually doing this live was this, right? I saw a lot of Errol Spence fans reporting a few weeks back, right, that Bomac said 50-50 or no fight and leverage and things like that. I saw a few channels that was reporting that, right? And as they was reporting it, I was thinking to myself, like, why would Bomac come out and start talking about numbers again, right? Like, why would he do that? That ain't really the thing to do. That ain't really the way to handle business. You know what I'm saying? Like, here we are knee deep into these negotiations, and Bomac coming out talking about 50-50 or no fight and talking about leverage and all these things. All these things, in my opinion, are counterproductive, right? And I got videos bashing Errol Spence, talking about him bringing numbers and splits and all these things into the conversation, right? I was on Errol ass, right? These are my thoughts, by the way, as I'm listening to some of these videos out here talking about Bomac and 50-50 and leverage and all these things, right? Because I went at Errol really hard for bringing splits into the conversation, right? So I was like, well, if Bomac's doing this now, man, I got to kind of keep the same energy, right? Those were my thoughts originally. I was like, well, I got to kind of keep the same energy because Bomac shouldn't be talking about this in the middle of his negotiations. He shouldn't be doing all this knowing full well that this could fuck up the entire fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't a good look, right? So those was my thoughts as I was going into it. So with that in mind, I decided to do a little bit of research. I'm like, okay, Bomac said this, and I hear channels reporting this information. So let me go to the source and see exactly where Bomac was coming from when he said what he said in regards to 50-50 or no fight or whatever it is, with leverage or whatever. Let's find out what it is that he's talking about, right? And one of the things that I came up with, one of the things that was glaring, right, when I went back to the source to figure out exactly where Bomac was saying, where he was coming from, all these type of things. One of the things that came up, bro, is these niggas are quoting information from another YouTube channel, right? Shout out to On the Mic with Terence Barely Sr., right? Shout out to him. These niggas are quoting an interview that was done on Bomac from a year ago, y'all. Bruh, all these Errol Spence channels that are reporting that Bomac said 50-50 had no fight, these niggas are all referring to an interview that was done a year ago. Don't believe me? Let's put it on up, man. Let's pull it up, y'all. Let's pull up the interview that a lot of Errol Spence fan channels were reporting. Bomac said 50-50 had no fight. Let's pull up the interview because it's just a lot of false and fake information out there on these boxing streets. And that's why channels like me exist. They get the truth out there. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're out there and you're saying that Bomac said 50-50 or no fight, or he said something about leverage, you got to make sure you put it in the proper context, right? Bomac made this statement over a year ago. You know what I'm saying? Almost 2 years ago, really. You know what I'm saying? So why are you niggas trying to pass it off like it's something that was said 2 weeks ago in the middle of negotiations? Why is that? Why is that the indication here, right? And here I got it on the screen right here. Here's the interview live with Bomac McIntyre, right? On the mic with Terence Barely Sr., right? And you look at it and you look at these comments, bro, this shit is from a year ago, right? And we're going to go through the interview because, you know, we're going to make sure that we show you that it's the same interview of what I was hearing before, right? We're going to make sure we go through the interview and we're going to talk about what Bomac actually said. But we got to be crystal clear when we talk about this and put it in the proper perspective it needs to be put in with the fact that this interview was done a year ago, right? So those are the receipts right there, bro. This interview was done a year ago with Bomac saying 50-50 or no fight. With Bomac talking about leverage. There go my guy D-Ray in the comment section. So he know better than anybody that this interview was done a year ago, right? So with that said, let's go ahead and listen to the interview that Bomac did over a year ago where he was talking about 50-50 or no fight. And let's put it into the proper context, in a proper perspective that a lot of Errol Spence fans and a lot of Errol Spence channels seem to not be able to do, right? And before that, let's go ahead and look at some of these comments. Let me see what y'all talking about out here on these boxing streets real quick before we play that interview. So here we go. Hold on, let me make sure I hear something popping. Okay, so my guy, Air Softener and Chef says EJ versus Ugas $74.99. Sold 240 pay-per-views, about 18 million. Showtime PBC paid EJ 2.5 million for pay-per-view sales. Sucker. Yeah, exactly. Facts. Master Khalid says this dude say Errol never wanted to fight. You're full of lies. Well, if I'm full of lies, then you got to explain why Errol Spence told Bud Crawford to get a belt first. Then fought Mikey Garcia, and Danny Garcia without a belt. You got to explain that. And then after that, you got to explain why Errol Spence said he needed to take the easy route, right? Which there's no guarantee that you make it through the easy route or you're able to collect all the belts on your side of the street, right? We saw Errol Spence get into a car accident. We saw him have a career-ending eye injury. We saw Errol Spence go through lots and lots of situations as far as him not being able to get to a Terence Bud Crawford fight, right? So then why would you risk the biggest fight of your career with Terence Bud Crawford if your intention is to fight him, right? So we have that. Then we have Errol Spence saying things like 60-40, 70-30, or whatever I give you, right? Which Danny Garcia, a guy with no belt, a guy with no pay-per-view experience, got a 60-40 split. Dennis Ugas, a guy who had a belt, a guy with no pay-per-view experience other than with a Manny Pacquiao, got a 50-50 split. You got to explain all these things, right? If you're going to tell me that Errol Spence wanted to fight this whole time, right, then you got to explain all them contradictions. You got to explain why Bud had to get a belt, but Mikey didn't. You got to explain why he says Bud got to take a 70-30, 80-20 split, but then gave Danny Garcia a 60-40 split. You got to explain why Bud Crawford got to take a 60-40 split, but Dennis Ugas can get a 50-50 split, right? And we can pull up the article on here, whatever, so you can see what the article is. But there's a lot of things that you got to explain if you're telling me that Errol Spence wanted to fight the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it going now. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Big Demon in the building. Salute to you, Big Demon. He say, fucking Errol sexuals. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yes, sir. Salute to my guy, Big Demon in the building. Mike Rim says, he also came up with weight classes and didn't have a fight in 1 year. That's Gamboa, who had a better accolades, Gamboa or Mikey. Yeah. Gamboa was an undefeated 3-weight world champion. He was actually considered pound for pound, right? I ain't going to say he was top 5 pound for pound, but he was definitely on the pound for pound list, right? When Terence Bud Crawford fought him. Terence Bud Crawford fought him at 135 pounds, right? As opposed to Errol Spence fighting a Mikey Garcia, a 135 pounder at 147. So Bud Crawford fought a pound for pound fighter in their best weight class, in and or around their prime, right? It's what a lot of you dudes don't like to admit when you talk about this type of shit. You leave out important ass details, right? But let's keep it going. What did Mikey do at 147 pounds again? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. AB, we already know what they're talking about. Man, the fight is done. They have to pay Wilder October 15th. The fight will happen in January. NFL will promote it. Well, I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. But until the end, bro, until the end, you know, we gotta talk about this shit, bro. Because we got Keith Thurman right now, that's number 1 in the WBC. Okay, we got Jerron Boots Ennis, who's number 1 in the IBF, the mandatory, right? We got Stanionis, right, who's number 1 in the WBA, right? Stanionis was already paid step aside money already, right? So they're gonna have to pay him step aside money again. I mean, we need to fully understand this, right? But let's keep it going. My guy AB says, "Don't tell me they out here lying again." Absolutely, AB, they lying again, bro. Because a lot of these dudes out here are referencing an interview that was done a year and a half ago and presenting it like it was something that happened 2 weeks ago. Why are we talking about a Bomac interview that was done a year and a half ago in the middle of them having negotiations? Now, if you're trying to present the argument that Bud Crawford doesn't deserve a 50-50 split, I can respect that. I can respect the argument. I don't agree with you, but I can respect the argument. But don't do videos and put up articles and don't do videos about an interview that was done a year and a half ago and present it like it was something done 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because that changes the entire perspective of what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Bomac shouldn't be out here. Nobody in Team Errol or Team Bud should be coming out here discussing any negotiations, okay? Because we already figured out the hard way that that's not how the fights get done. So when I first heard about this shit, I was like, Bomac is wrong for coming out in the public and talking about negotiations. He shouldn't do that, right? I was ready to get on Bomac when I first seen it. But the facts is that this interview was done a year and a half ago, y'all, and y'all see the receipts on here. Y'all see the receipts. This shit was done a year and a half ago. Over a year ago, bro. And I can't pull up the date on here. But you look at the comments here, and you see this shit was done over a year ago, bro. But let's keep it going. Let me keep going with these comments real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get into the actual interview of what Bomac said. You know what I'm saying? Greg Williams say they didn't have the budget this year. Okay, they didn't have the budget this year. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe they didn't have the budget this year. I mean, I can see that. I can see that them not having the budget this year. You know what I'm saying? But niggas should come out and say that. Niggas should just say that. Hey, we ain't got the budget. Don't try to make it seem like it's Bud Crawford and his team, Bud Crawford, that's holding up the fight. Because, see, that's the narrative out here, Greg Williams. And I respect where you're coming from with your knowledge and information. But the narrative out here is that Bud Crawford is holding up the fight. The narrative out here is that Bud Crawford is not being reasonable in the negotiation table, right? Even though Bud Crawford made all the sacrifices to get the fight done. Even though Bud Crawford is the one who crossed the street, fired the promoter that was paying him the most amount of money, right? Of all welterweights, he fired the promoter that was paying him the most money so that way he could cross the street to get a fight that he's not interested in taking. I mean, y'all got to make this shit make sense to me. But this is the narrative out here, Greg. This is what's going on out here on these boxing streets. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna tell you that. Okay. My guy Sleep with One Eye says Top Rank creates champions. Pacquiao, Loma, Tio, Cambozo, Haney. Cambozo is right. Haney, Josh Taylor, Elect all have multiple belts. But to take it even a step further than that, Sleep with One Eye open. Top Rank created Floyd Mayweather. Top Rank created Oscar De La Hoya. And yeah, they branched out and they did their own things after the fact. But their legacy was built on Top Rank. Floyd Mayweather became a 4-weight division champion on Top Rank. Oscar De La Hoya became a 5-weight division champion on Top Rank. Right? They made money when they made more money when they left Bob Arum, but their legacy was cemented on Top Rank. Right? Their name was built on Top Rank. Right? But let's keep it going though. My guy AB says they offer Canelo $50 million, so stop it about no budget. I am sure Bud is ain't asking for no $50 million. Absolutely. And you know, the argument to that is going to be that they're going to say, well, Bud is not Canelo. He doesn't do the numbers Canelo does, blah, 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 yakety schmackety, right? But my thing is if you can offer Canelo Alvarez $50 million, right? And I think it's a 2-fight deal for $100 million, right? You telling me Bud Crawford can't get a 10 million or a 20 million 2-fight deal with PBC? You can't give him that? That's out of the budget. He can't get 20% of what Canelo was getting. I mean, come on, y'all. This is what I'm talking about right here. Big Demon say Bud got a good video on a Porter podcast right now. I think I seen like a little snippet of that video. Yeah, man. I think I said I gotta go on and check that out afterwards. You know what I mean? My guy Greg Williams say yes because they feel they can recoup it from Canelo. Yeah, and I get that to a degree. I get it. Canelo does better numbers. They feel they can get the money from Canelo, so they gonna go ahead and they gonna put up the money to get Canelo on their side, right? Understandable. But what my guy AB is trying to say is don't say you ain't got the budget for it when you got money for Canelo, right? I get what my guy AB saying. You got the money. You're saying that Bud Crawford is not worth it. Okay, that's one argument. But don't say you ain't got the budget for it. You know what I mean? And them two different things. But let's keep it going. My guy G Money in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, fam. He say, man, them guys crazy. He said, man, them guys crazy. Them aerosexuals are crazy. These dudes do be off the chain, man. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Greg Williams say they don't feel that way with Crawford Spence. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I see we got some more comments, but let me go ahead and let me get into the actual video, and then I'll get back to the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? But let's do that. Let's play this video that Bomac did over a year and a half ago. We're gonna put it in the proper perspective. Over a year and a half ago. Right, and let's talk about what Bomac said, and let's go through the nitty gritty of what he said. Right? Okay, cool. So here's the interview.
Gotta get the fight signed first. Yeah, I know. Gotta get the fight signed, sealed, delivered. I mean, right now it's arguing over. I guess everything you keep hearing about is 60. Bernie Mac voice 60-40. Talk about 60-40 and percentages and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, man, they ain't never been. We ain't never had no talks with Spence or nobody. Ain't nobody.
See, that makes more sense because this was done a year and a half ago, right? At a time where before Bomac had any talks or before Terence Crawford had any talks with Errol Spence Jr., right? When you hear that interview online on certain videos, right, it sounds ludicrous because you're like, hold on, ain't y'all in the middle of negotiations? But no, this was a year and a half ago, and at this point, they had no talks with Errol Spence Jr. Therefore, all of this is speculation at this particular point in time. But let's keep it going.
Nobody never came to the table. Nobody have visited that conversation yet. Now I've been telling top rank, Bob, them go make the fight, man. Go make the fight. We want to fight. This that never came to fruition for us. Yes.
So a lot of Errol Spence fans take this as an opportunity to bring up this lawsuit. Let's talk about this lawsuit real quick, and then we'll get back into the interview, right? So a lot of Errol Spence fans like to spin this, and they like to bring up the fact that Bud Crawford is suing Bob Arum out because they couldn't get him the fights. But that actually isn't the reason Terence Crawford is suing Top Rank or was suing or is suing, right? I don't know what the situation is now with the lawsuit. But the reason that Bud Crawford is suing Top Rank is for racial bias when it comes to promotion, right? And he's also suing him for breach of contract. That is the actual lawsuit. Now, what was the breach of contract? Bob Arum promised an Errol Spence fight, right? He promised that. He put it in writing, right? And promised an Errol Spence fight, right? But that has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with Errol not ducking. That has everything to do with Top Rank breaching their agreement with Terence Bud Crawford, and that's why he's being sued, right? If I told you if I worked at a job for 30 years and I made over $1 million working at a job, right? And they promised they were going to give me something and they didn't give it to me, I could sue them for what it is that they didn't give me. All right. But that doesn't mean that they didn't get me a lot of big fights. That don't mean I ain't make a lot of money with them. That don't mean that job didn't put me in a position to be able to sue them, right? It gave me the leverage that doesn't mean anything like that. That doesn't mean that they're a bad company. It just means that they didn't deliver on what it is that they promised me. And that in itself is justification for a lawsuit. And that is why Bud Crawford is suing Top Rank. Breach of contract, racial bias, right? Discrimination. Nothing to do with Errol Spence Jr. So you dudes always like spinning this, but at the end of the day, it got nothing to do with whether or not Errol Spence has been ducking. It got nothing to do with whether or not Errol Spence Jr. has wanted this fight. It got nothing to do with Errol Spence saying that he needed to take the easy route first, or Bud needed to get a belt, or 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, all these different things that indicate in most people's mind that he don't want the fight. But let's keep it going.
That's the fight. I mean, it's especially. Well, how do you look at it? If let's say Spence go and fight, he get the fight. He does fight Ugas, and then you clear that situation. That situation's cleared up. So then Pacquiao's out of the picture. If Errol fights Ugas, and then him and Crawford come together, I mean, how do you even approach those negotiations?
You gotta be a 50-50, man, because for the simple fact, in order for Errol to want to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish, he needs Terence. He need that belt Terence got. So
man, I wish he didn't have to go like that. For real. Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanna ask the question to the Errol Spence fans that have a problem with what Bomac said. Where's the lie in what he said? Like where's the lie at? You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence said he wanted to be undisputed. In order to be undisputed, you need all 4 of the belts. Bud Crawford has all 4 of the belts. Therefore, Bud Crawford does have leverage. Therefore, Errol does need Bud Crawford. Right? So I don't understand why we got a lot of different channels, a lot of different boxing fans having a problem with this. I'm just trying to figure out where the lie's at. Now, does that mean Errol Spence has to fight Terence Bud Crawford? No, he ain't got to fight Terence. He could renege on what he said he was going to do. He'd move up to 154. You know what I'm saying? He could campaign it. He could go fight Keith Thurman or whatever. He could do all that shit. But at the end of the day, you said you wanted to be undisputed. You got a guy out there who has one of the belts keeping you from being undisputed, right? So the only thing to do is to do everything in your power to make the fight with a Terence Bud Crawford, right? That's the definition of leverage. Let me give y'all the definition of leverage, right? Now, the definition of leverage is the use of credit or borrowed capital to increase the earning potential of stock. So if you're saying Terence Bud Crawford got a low stock, well, just based on him having a belt, that immediately increases his stock. And there's just no lies told when it comes to that. But let's keep it going on this interview.
Get that belt, but he ain't gonna get it. What's gonna happen is the fight's finally gonna get made. Bud gonna beat him. Bud gonna be the unified champion. Then we'll weigh our options about what's next.
Okay, so I 100% agree with Bomac. Bud gonna beat him, and then they're gonna see what's next. But we pretty much covered the topic of the conversation, which is the 50-50. So the people that's out there putting out all this information about Bomac talking about 50-50 in leverage, he definitely said it, but he said it over a year and a half ago. So not in the middle of negotiations. He didn't say that yesterday. He didn't say that last week. He said it a year and a half ago at a time where Errol Spence was still on the easy route, right? At a time that Errol Spence was still talking about 60-40, 70-30, or whatever I give you. At a time that Errol Spence was in the middle of recovering from his car accident or his eye injury. I'm not sure. I think it was the eye injury at that particular point in time, right? So it wasn't yesterday. So Bomac's statements about this 50-50 played no role as far as the negotiations are concerned with Errol Spence Jr. Now, let's discuss the 50-50, and then I'm going to open up the chat. Now, for me, I believe the 50-50 is the fight to make. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say 50-50 or no fight, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that. Personally, I'm more along the lines of the agreement of a guy like Steven Espinoza, and we know what Steven Espinoza said, right? Steven Espinoza said, he said, if it ain't 50-50, it's pretty damn close, right? Steven Espinoza said, hold on. Steven Espinoza said,
not 50-50, it's pretty close.
Not 50-50, it's pretty close.
Not 50-50, it's pretty close.
So my opinion is along the lines of Steven Espinoza. If it's not 50-50, it's pretty close. I don't think it should necessarily be 50-50 and no fight, but it should be pretty damn close to 50-50. The only way in my mind that this fight should be anything less than 50-50 is if they give Bud a super high guarantee. You got to give Bud Crawford the highest guarantee that he's ever seen in his life, right? In order for him to take a 60-40 split or anything less than 50-50, right? I made a video maybe like a week ago, right? Talking about how A-side fighters like Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather, you know, they were able to call themselves A-side fighters because they were able to give their B-side fighters the highest payday that they had ever seen, right? In the case of Oscar De La Hoya was able to give Floyd Mayweather 3 times his highest payday. He went from $8 million to $25 million in the very next fight with Oscar De La Hoya. That's what A-sides enabled them to be able to do, right? Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, he was able to give Canelo Alvarez 8 times more than he had ever seen in his life, right? Canelo Alvarez's highest payday before he fought Floyd Mayweather was $1.5 million versus Shane Mosley, but he was able to make $8 million in a fight with a Floyd Mayweather, right? Canelo Alvarez, before he fought Caleb Plant, he took the A-side position, but he was able to pay Caleb Plant $10 million, right? Even though Caleb Plant, before Canelo Alvarez fight only made $750,000. So this is what I mean here, right? A-side fighters are able to give the B-side the highest payday that they've ever seen in their careers, right? They're able to multiply it several times. In the case of Caleb Plant and Canelo, 10 times, right? This is what A-side fighters are willing to do, right? So the only way that Bud Crawford should take anything less than a 50-50 split is if they are able to give him his highest guarantee. They're able to guarantee him, right? If we're going on the same principle, it should be at least $18 million, right? If Bud Crawford is getting $18 million, then he should be able to take a 55, 40 split, whatever. I'm okay with him taking a lower split, but they got to give him a high guarantee, right? But other than that, if they want Bud Crawford to take this low split, like what we're hearing rumors about, right? A 3-fight, $14 million, right? That's what we're hearing. If they want Bud Crawford to take this low guarantee, right, then it has to be 50-50. Because Bud Crawford shouldn't need to take pay cuts in order to get the fight done if Errol Spence is indeed the A-side fighter, like a lot of niggas make him out to be. You can't be an A-side, but everybody who gets in a ring with you or a guy who gets in a ring with you got to take less money than they made in the previous fight. That's not how shit works. You know what I'm saying? That's not how shit works. You don't take less money for a more difficult fight. You know, I made this argument on several videos. You don't take less money for a more difficult fight. If I offered you a job and the job that I offered you paid less money than where you at right now, but it was more difficult, how many of y'all would take the job? I make that video, I make that argument all the time because that's essentially what a lot of Errol Spence fans are asking Terence Bud Crawford to do if that whole 3-fight, $14 million thing is actually real, right? So if Errol Spence can't do that, if Errol Spence can't give Bud his highest payday, if Errol Spence really wants to be undisputed, if Errol Spence really meant what he said he wanted to collect all his belts on his side of the street and then he would come take Bud Crawford, then it should be no problem giving Bud Crawford the 50-50 that he deserves. Point blank, period. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to drop the link and then I'm going to read some comments. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that want to come through, talk some shit with your boy, you're more than welcome. You know what I'm saying? But here we go. Here we go. Boom. There you go right there. There go the link. And let me read these comments. Let me see what y'all talking about out here on these boxing streets. You know what I'm saying? My guy AB says, so who is Errol fighting that will make him more than fighting Bud? Absolutely nobody. Absolutely nobody. Excellent point right there, AB. The fact of the matter is that Bud Crawford is Errol Spence's highest payday. You know what I'm saying? If Errol Spence is the biggest fighter or the big fish at the weight division, right? Then he wouldn't need to fight Bud Crawford in order to generate the highest payday he's ever seen. Everybody wants to see this fight because Bud Crawford is in the fight, which directly ties into the reason why he should get a 50-50 split. But let's keep it going. Greg Williams said, Bud all but said it's done. The fight will happen down the line. Then real soon, January 14th announcement during Wilder fight. I hear you. I hear you. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. Hold on, let me see here. Okay, we got somebody new that just joined us here in the building, man. My guy, Master Khalid, is in the building. Salute to you, fam. Welcome to the chat. What's on your mind,
man? How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm just listening to no offense, man, but you on some BS, man.
Okay, tell me about it, man. How I'm on some BS. Talk to me.
Okay, we gonna keep it we gonna keep everything fair. You guys always claiming that Errol took the easy road, which he said he did, but you never mentioned when Bomac said Bud took the easy road with Jeff Horn. Why is that?
Okay, so I mean that's easily I've already debunked that several times, but I'll do it again. So when Bud Crawford was moving up from 140 pounds, right? He actually dropped the IBF belt, so he didn't have the IBF belt to even go the IBF route, right? That, and then also the only sanctioning body that has it where you can move up and challenge the champion right away is the WBO, right? All the other sanctioning bodies have it where you can move up and be in the top 5, but none of them have it where you can challenge the champion right away, right? So what that means is that by the time Bud Crawford got in position to be able to challenge Errol Spence, if he would have went any other route, Errol Spence would have already become undisputed and moved out of the division, right? Because his goal was to become undisputed, and then he was going to move to 154. We've heard Errol Spence say several times that he had 1 or 2 fights at 147, and then he would move to 154, right? So if Bud would have done anything other than what he did, there's no way he would have got Errol Spence in the ring with him. So it's not really an easy route. It's really the only route.
Well, that's not, you didn't answer my question, though. My question was, Bomac blatantly said that they took the easy route with Jeff Horn. That's just plain and simple. Why you can't admit that that's what happened?
Well, the facts are is that it wasn't an easier route.
I didn't say easier. I said easy. Bomac said they took the easy road. Period. I mean, now you can try to reinterpret what the man said, but that's what the man said. And also, if the WBO is the only sanctioning body that you can move right up after being undisputed and fight, it didn't happen with Canelo when he moved up and fought Bevel. He moved right up and fought Bevel for the WBA.
Well, he moved up and fought Bivol for the WBA. He didn't go through the WBA. He just fought for the WBA belt. They made the fight without the sanctioning body. You can make a fight with anybody who you want. But
so Bud could have made the fight with Errol then.
But Errol already said that Bud needed to get a belt first.
No, Errol didn't.
Yeah, he did. I could play the interview right now. I could play it right now where he was on ESPN and he told Bud he needed to get a belt.
I want you to play the interview when Errol went right before Bud moved up, when Jeff Horn was still the champion, and Errol was on his way to fight Lamont Peterson. And there was a lady interviewing Errol, and she asked Errol, did he agree with Keith Thurman by saying that Bud need to move up and get a belt? And Errol blatantly said, nah, I'm not getting into all in politics. And then she was also asking him about fighting Jeff Horn. He said, I'm not worried about Jeff Horn. I'm about to fight Lamont Peterson, and I think he's a much better fighter than Jeff Horn. So from the interview that I seen before Bud moved up, when he was on his way to move up, Errol said he don't care about the politics of him getting a belt. When Keith Thurman said Bud need to get a belt, Errol said, I don't care about them politics.
Okay. I mean, maybe he did say that afterwards. I'm not saying that you're wrong by that, but prior to that, he definitely said he wanted to fight Jeff Horn. He also said that he wanted to unify with him. Both of those things that he said that I've done videos about. So, I mean, video evidence of him saying he wanted to fight both of those guys, which is something he never actually said about Bud Crawford prior to April 16th when he called Bud Crawford out. Right. So there's video evidence of him calling out Jeff Horn, saying he wanted to unify. And then as far as
we'll play that. I would like to see that video when he called out Jeff Horn.
Okay.
Because the video that I seen, he said, I'm not worried about Jeff Horn. And he said, and he also said, I'm gonna get these belts on my side, and whoever got the belt, the WBO, I'm going to get that next.
Okay. I'm gonna look at that video, and then while I'm looking for that video, I'll pause on our conversation. I'm gonna let my guy AB come through and say what he gotta say. Okay.
Sure thing.
All right, AB, what's on your mind, fam?
What's good, bro? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, nothing much. Salute. I had to come through and holler at my guy. Yes, sir. I saw you on there cooking a little bit, but like I said, this fight ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen because, like I've told you, after even before the Ugas fight, I said, look, there's not gonna be any pressure on Errol Spence. It's always gonna be Terence Bud Crawford fought some kind of way. He asking for too much. He under the wrong promotion. He got the wrong trainer. He won't sign with PBC. It's always something. Always. And I just can't understand it. The dude said he won't clean up his side of the street. He did that. Okay. So what's the holdup?
Hey, I agree with you, bro.
What's the holdup?
I agree with you, bro.
It should be nothing else. If you got the balls enough to put a contract out in the public and say, Canelo Alvarez, hey, I want $50 million to fight you, Canelo Alvarez. If you can do that, what's the holdup with you and Terence Bud Crawford?
I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. When it comes to Terence Crawford, it is always something. Like with the Pacquiao fight, he wouldn't sign that contract. Bomac say I told him not to sign the contract. You know what I'm saying? It is always something when it comes to
what
Terence
you mean?
Crawford.
What you mean? What you mean?
What you mean? What I mean?
Pacquiao wanted $40 million. So what you talking about? Bud didn't sign what contract? Bud been trying to fight Pacquiao for 7 years. So what you talking about?
Yeah. So you didn't hear when Bomac said that Pacquiao sent the contract. He's had to sign and everything, but he told Bud not to sign it because the money wasn't there.
But Pacquiao wanted $40 million, correct?
Hold on. That's not what I'm saying.
But I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know nothing about that. All I know is Manny Pacquiao wanted $40 million after the pandemic to fight Terence Bud Crawford. That's all I know. I don't know nothing about Pacquiao sending Bud Crawford a contract.
Well, he did. You must didn't see.
Okay, go ahead. Explain. Go ahead. Fill me in. Go ahead. The floor is yours. I want to hear this.
Now you can ask the brother Boxer Die because I'm pretty sure he know about it too. The contract was signed by Pacquiao, and Bud would not sign a contract. And Bomac himself said he told Bud not to sign it because the money wasn't there. He had to make sure the money was there first. Some bullshit he said, but the contract was ready for Pacquiao and Terence Crawford.
What money?
And Terence Crawford would not sign the contract.
What money? Was it the $40 million that Pacquiao wanted?
Listen, brother.
I'm asking you. You said some money, so I'm on specifics. We ain't just gonna throw no bullshit in there. I like specifics.
I'm telling you what Bomac said, brother. This
I'm
ain't
saying
my
what
word.
money? What money though? What money?
You have to
said
ask
some money
Bomac
was not
that,
there.
brother.
Is the money for Bud or is the money for Pacquiao? Which
The
one?
money for Bud.
You can make
okay.
full-time income from YouTube.
Yeah, Bomac said he told Terence not to sign the contract with Pacquiao because they had to make sure the money was there. And that's why Terence Crawford didn't sign the contract with Pacquiao.
And when was this?
And that's what Bomac said, brother.
When was this?
It was he was on somebody's show probably I don't know, maybe a year ago, over a year ago, something like that.
So you saying this happened after Pacquiao won the $40 million?
No, my bad. It was actually before. It was before Pacquiao and Spence signed the fight. It was before that because remember before Spence got the fight, him and Bud was supposed to get.
That's what I'm saying. So you talking about the same instance when Pacquiao won the $40 million?
Yeah.
So hold on.
That was the money you talked. That was the money that was not that they wanted to make sure that was there. Not Bud's money. They wanted to make sure they had enough money for Pacquiao, the $40 million.
Well, Pacquiao, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, brother. Pacquiao had already signed the contract. Pacquiao was
but the money wasn't there.
Like I said, brother, Pacquiao had already signed the contract.
Hold on, quick pause on y'all. Hold on, quick pause on y'all. Hold on, quick pause on y'all conversation. Let me play this video real quick because he wanted to hear about Jeff Horn.
I know that.
Hold on. So I just want to play that video from Jeff Horn. Hold on, what? This is it right here, ain't it? Oh no, that ain't it. It's this.
Yeah, this guy's misinformed.
So Bomac misinformed me. Okay.
No, you lying on Bomac, but go ahead.
I'm lying on Bomac. Okay.
Yeah, you are. But go ahead.
Box to die. Am I lying on Bomac?
I do remember Bomac saying something along those lines. Yeah, about what you call it. Yeah, he definitely said something like that.
Thank you. So you gonna take that back, calling me a liar, bro?
No.
So Box to die lying too, huh?
No.
Just me? I'm the only one lying?
Hey. You ain't gonna talk to me like I'm your bitch or something. You gonna take that back? No, sir. We don't do that. Go ahead and play what you gonna play, sir.
Hold on. Give me.
Yeah, because I don't know what's wrong with these new niggas nowadays.
Give me a second. Yeah, give me a second. Hold on. God damn. Here we go.
You just got schooled, man. That's all. You'll get it.
I ain't get schooled. Like I said, don't play with me. Play with your bitch.
You just got schooled, dog.
Like I said, hey, I don't mind being correct, but don't play with me. Play with your bitch.
I don't
play that tough shit. So go ahead, my guy.
You the one talking tough.
Go ahead, my guy. Play the shit, King David.
Here go, y'all.
Go ahead, female. Female. You want to get your point across, female? Go ahead, King David.
Here we go right here, y'all.
What's up, man? So what do you think that's for? I mean, let's fight. I mean, really nothing else to say. I mean, he has a belt, I have a belt. Let's unify. What happened to that? You gotta be a man down. You know, we'll see.
Okay, so you saw the video. So what your thoughts is now after seeing that video?
My thoughts are the same. He said he has a belt, I have a belt, let's unify.
So he was trying to fight him then, right?
That's not him, like, that's not a call out, that's not him pursuing Jeff Horn, none of that.
How you figure that though? I'm just trying to how you figure that.
That's not a pursuit. He's like, you got a belt, I got a belt, let's unify. That's not him trying to make a fight with Jeff Horn.
That's a call out. What do you say to
No, that's him stating the fact. I want to be undisputed. Whoever got a belt, let's unify.
No, that's not, you saying it wrong. He said, what do you say to Jeff Horn? He says, let's fight, let's unify. That's what I say to Jeff Horn. Has he ever made any statement like that when it came to Bud Crawford?
He's making it right now.
16th.
No,
right?
he did.
16th.
He did.
Okay.
All right. You guys hear me?
Now,
hold on.
Now, why don't you play the interview that I just told you about when the dude said when he was on his way to fight Lamont Peterson, when he said, "I'm not worried about Jeff Horn."
Hey, look, I'm not saying you're wrong about that, but you told me that he never called out Jeff Horn, and we can clearly see that he did.
I don't see that as a call out, bro. I just don't.
I don't see how you don't. Hold on, I can go to the same video. We can go to another one where it was in the same location and they asked him about Jeff Horn. So just in case you didn't like that one, let's go to another one where he calls out Jeff Horn. Hold on, here we go. These videos are all I drop because you know I only rock with receipts. I don't really rock with none of that other stuff. You know, I don't like the video evidence. Before when I say what I say, I don't just like to just say anything. You know what I mean? Here we go. Okay, so so on this part, the interview is asking.
Hold on, play it again. I can't hear him.
Here we go. Hold on. Let me just back it up a little bit.
Another reporter asking a very same question. Here you go.
All right, I heard you.
Yeah, so yeah, man, the man was calling out Jeff Horn, man, but the energy changed when it came to Bud Crawford. That's all we trying.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that totally, and I disagree about the energy changing because you know, like I said, you know, there's other interviews out there, you know, with the dude. This is before Bud even moved up, where he said, "I'm not thinking about Jeff Horn. I'm about to fight Lamont Peterson." He said, then he said, "You know what? I'm gonna clean up these belts over here. Then whoever got the belt over there, I'm gonna come get it."
Hey, I know what you're talking about too. You definitely didn't say that after
two different interviews.
Peterson.
You can play that. You can play that interview too.
Signed to fight Lamont Peterson.
Huh?
This was before that. This was before that when he was calling out Jeff Horn.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
Okay, so all right, let me go to my guy AC, who just came into the building. Salute to you, AC. What's going on with you?
Salute, bro. What's going on? What's going on to the channel? What's going on to the chat? Here's the deal. Spence definitely had called out Bud right before Bud was supposed to face Jeff Horn. I think it was on Shaq's show. It was on one of those shows where it's not really about boxing, but they was talking to EJ. EJ said, "Yeah, I'm looking forward to the winner of that fight between Horn and Bud because we can make that fight right away." You feel what I'm saying? That's before he said that all of that clean up my side of the street. Once Bud beat Horn, that's when all of that my side of the street stuff came out. And then Bud finally traps the nigga in a joint and tells him to his face, "Yo, bro, what's good with the fight? What's good with the fight? Both you and Keith Thurman told me to get a belt. You know, before I moved up, I get a belt. I got a belt. Now you disappear and you go running over there, and Keith Thurman go running over there. And that's
the boogeyman I'm chasing.
Hey, bro, you sound a little muffled. You sound a little muffled, man. I don't know something with your mic or I don't know what it is, but you sound a little muffled.
Oh, you can hear me now better? Maybe I stepped too far away from my computer to shut my.
Hey, fam, I'm gonna have to come back in, man. I got a call. I'm gonna have to come back in.
All right, no problem.
All right.
Yeah.
But that's the real history when you really look at it. When dudes try to conflate and say he said this way before this, no, man. Y'all been listening to way too much LDBC and silly dudes out there who are conflating the facts, you know, and then when you try to confront them on it, they want to keep moving the goalposts on you. And then stop you mid-sentence and then make a debate out of a point you're not even making.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Boogeyman. He ain't been a boogeyman since that day.
Right.
That's why I ask people why he ain't the boogeyman no more, and they can't say nothing.
Yeah.
And you know, I did a debate maybe like a week ago on the Knockout channel, man. And you know, I was making some points on there, and there was a lot of people in the comments that was like, "Oh, he lying." I'm like, bro, I got receipts. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just say anything. I got receipts. I got fees. You know what I mean? I give you my usually at the end. You know what I'm saying? After, and it's usually based on the facts. So you know,
I'm saying, any reasonable person will come up to those same conclusions, though.
Right.
That's the thing, though. What What reality are these people living in?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. This dude say one thing and do something totally different, then say something else.
I want to know what reality Spence fans is living in to say a guy that has 2 lineal championships in 2 different weight classes, has 6 belts to a guy with 3. One guy says, oh, he duck. Yeah, but what about Spence ducking a fucking Charlos to come out of 154 to go down to come out of 154 to go down to 146? That came out of his own mouth. No, I ain't never gonna fight the Charlos. So he's leaving 154 to go down. And you didn't even fight in the Olympics or the amateurs at 146. What are you doing? You ducking, but yet Bud is criticized because he didn't go hard to beat up his longtime friend Sean Porter. But you don't want to fight your friend. What happened now?
Bud got criticized as soon as he said he wanted to fight Errol Spence. It was all good. Everybody loved Terence Bud Crawford before he said he wanted to fight Errol Spence. Then it was a problem. So that's why I don't understand with these dudes. Why these dudes are some weirdos for real. Before Bud came to 147, Spence was at his fights. Everybody talking about, yeah, Bud Crawford the best in the world. Canelo ain't shit. Bud Crawford. All right, Lomo ain't shit. Bud. Okay, and then as soon as he comes to 47, man, he ain't fought nobody. Man, I don't know. He don't deserve shit. He need to take 30%. He on the wrong side of the street. Bob Arum, he racist. All this bullshit.
Yeah, all that.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't, and they regurgitate this shit like, I'm like, bro, don't you know you sound like a motherfucking fool right now? You listen to the words that come out your own mouth.
I even asked dudes, I said, listen, why wasn't shit like that said about James Toney, Roy Jones, Evander Holyfield, when they moved up from smaller weight classes and fought some of the greatest heavyweights? Nobody was saying, oh, James Toney ain't shit. He ain't did nothing at heavyweight.
Because the dudes they want to fight weren't scared to fight them.
Hold on, y'all. I think the audio fucking up. Hold on. Can y'all hear me good?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you, my guy.
Oh, yeah, you sound clear, too. You sound a little like low and muffled over there, AC.
Oh, that's me.
Not you, AC.
Let me step out and come back in. Maybe when I stepped away, it fucked up my whole, joint. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna step out and come right back in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, something was going on with the sound thing. I don't know what it was. How I sound? Do I got an echo or anything, AB?
No, you sound. I hear you clear.
Okay, good. It's my headphone that's probably fucking up. All right, cool, man. Let me look at some of these comments on here, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's funny though, man. I go on some of these channels and dudes be saying I'm lying. And then, I play videos like, bro, like these are just facts.
But I'm saying if they watching the same videos though,
right?
So that's what I'm saying. If you watching the same video I'm watching. How can you get I understand we're going to have different opinions. No person going to see the same thing the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But the facts going to be the facts.
Right. The facts going to be the facts.
Yeah, we can proceed this, that, and other, but the facts going to be the facts.
Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you heard what he said when he was on here. He said, well, he did. That's not a call out. And then when the dude said, hey, he said, I've been called him. So he just confirmed that he called him out.
But I'm saying, when you say a dude name, King David, you got WBO strap, let's unify.
Right.
Who am I talking to?
Right.
I'm not talking to anybody that got the belt. I'm not talking to anybody else that got a belt. I'm talking to you.
Uh-huh.
But see, that's the delusion that these dudes are under. Why? How? What kind of hypnosis? What kind of trick? What's in the water? What these dudes doing?
Yeah, shit crazy, man.
Man, they got some good game. You hear me? They got some good game.
Yeah.
I don't know pimps that got game like this. You hear me?
I'm telling you. But
I'm not gonna even lie. Sometimes I still go to some of the LDB channels. I go there for a second to see how many viewers they get. Like Ego, I was like, let me see how many viewers this dude got. Damn, you got this many subscribers. These many motherfuckers listening to you say this dumb shit.
Yeah.
Damn, let me go over here. You too? Shit, let me go over here. God, man, y'all. Hey. I don't know. slug. I don't know many pimps, but it's some pimps that ain't that cold.
Yeah, for real. They got to believe in anything. But look, Karen Battle say Bob lost money on Bud. You know, which is so funny to me when I hear people say that, because you want to say Bob lost money on Bud, but he was trying to make a fight with Josh Tucker, with Bud Crawford. So you losing so much goddamn money on Bud Crawford. Why in the hell would you go and try to do it again? That's what I don't get about a lot of people who make that argument. And then the other thing about it is Bob Aaron, as far as dang, I got this echo in my ear. It's killing me. Hold on. I guess it's just me with the echo. Okay, I don't hear it no more.
Yeah, that was you, my guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come out and come back in. Abby, go ahead. AC, y'all keep it going. I'm gonna come out and come back in here. I got this crazy ass echo in my ear.
Oh, that dude dipped again. Oh, you back, my guy? Oh, there you go.
Okay, I don't know. I still got that goddamn echo. Hey, AB, are you listening to the podcast at all? Are you listening to this?
I'm in a stream yard.
Do you have it planned on YouTube or anything like that? Because I hear this echo.
Hey, hold on.
I don't know what the fuck going on. Maybe I gotta switch my computer.
No, I
Y'all
hear you
can
good.
me?
You good, AC. I hear you good. Loud and clear now. It's just I hear echo in my ear.
Now it sounds clear.
Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. Yeah, there we go. We good now. Maybe it's AB. Maybe he listened to the thing or something like that, and you know it's echoing in the ear or whatever. But let me keep going on these comment section, man. Let me see what y'all talking about. Let me go up to the top because I skipped a lot of comments, so I just want to get the see what y'all talking about. You know, salute to my guy Joseph Bailey in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, fam. He say salute boxer die in the panel. Yes, sir, in the building. Let me see here. Let's look at some of these things. All right.
You hear the echo still?
Nah, I don't hear the echo no more. We good now.
Right, then that was probably me because I had the other joint open.
It's probably you. I think it was actually AB. Actually, I think it was.
Okay.
You know, you had something going on with yours, but I think AB had something going on with his too. I think he was either listening to it or something because I hear him. He sound like he muted over there. Yeah, he's muted himself, and I don't hear the echo no more.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so. Okay, but we got somebody new that just came into the panel. I got Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the homie Knockout Boxing 86 TV on YouTube. What's going on with you, fam? What's on your mind?
Oh man, chilling, bro. I've been in and out, and you was cooking. You know what I'm saying? So you know, every time I see you live, I gotta come through and show some support to my brother. Even if you cooking, and you know what I'm saying, it's the wrong meal and shit, you still cooking. So I always respect that shit, man. But shout out to you, man. I you know I rock with you, man. So I'm here, bro. What I see, I'm looking at the title. I know you wasn't capping for this shit, was you?
Well, I ain't capping for it, but I made a few very important points when we were talking about the interview.
Let me hear some of them so I can maybe agree or disagree or some shit, man.
Oh, okay, no problem. So the first and most important point that I made is there's a lot of YouTubers doing videos about that Bomac interview, right? But the interview was actually done a year and a half ago. So that's the first thing. So it's an old interview, fam. But a lot of people are reporting on it like it's new shit, but it's actually old.
I think they doing the Twitter shit, bro. Because it was some dude named like Calderon Boxing or some shit on Twitter that had just tweeted that shit maybe like a week or two ago. They tweeted that Bomac had said that shit. So I think that shit's coming back up because of his tweet.
Yeah, maybe that would. No, actually, I think I don't like throwing names out there, but I actually watched the video before this, and dude reported on it. Okay. Yeah, he reported on it like it was a week ago, but the interview was like a year and a half ago. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think I had to make sure I talked about that first and foremost because it's a little misleading. Because you know, Knockout, I got on Errol real heavy when he started talking that 60-40 stuff out in the public, right? That was one of my main talking points. So when I first heard it, I was like, well, dang, I might have to get on Bomac because he shouldn't be talking like this right now. This shouldn't be the conversation. We're supposed to be keeping these kind of conversations behind closed doors. And now Bomac is bringing it to the forefront. So when I first heard about it, I was ready to get on Bomac. But then when I realized the interview was done a year and a half ago, I was like, oh, well, see, somebody bringing up old news to the fray, and they passing it off like it's new shit when it's old shit. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing in regards to the 50-50, like, I ain't gonna sit here and say it gotta be 50-50 or no fight, but my stance is along the lines of Steven Espinoza. Steven Espinoza said if it ain't 50-50, it's pretty close. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. To me, the only reason why the fight shouldn't be 50-50 is if Bud is getting the highest guarantee that he's ever gotten in his career, right? Because he's taking a B-side to a Errol Spence Jr., which when we go back in history and we look at all the fighters that were A-side and B-side, usually the A-side fighters would always give the B-side fighters the most amount of money they've ever seen as far as a guarantee. They would multiply it times 2, times 3, even in Canelo's case when it came to Caleb Plant, times 10, right? So that's the other argument that I was making in regards to that, right? But my stance is if it ain't 50-50, it should be pretty close, like what Steven Espinoza said. And I made a few other arguments that I done made before as far as Bud.
I got you. I got you. But see that all this shit so goddamn ambiguous, bro. Like, so what does when Steven Espinoza says pretty close, what the fuck does that mean, bro? What pretty close? People can define that shit a bunch of different ways. Is it 51-49? Is it 55-45? Is it 60-40? So what does pretty close?
Well, here's the general consensus out there is that Bud should take a
viewership.
But here go the thing though. The general consensus out there amongst a lot of Errol Spence fans is that Bud should take a 60-40 split. I'm sure Steven Espinoza says that. And all this is assumptions. I know you're gonna say that too. But if 60-40 is what the general population thinks that he should take, then pretty close is gonna be anything north of 60-40. Right, just based on just conventional, just context clues type things, in my opinion, you know what I mean? And it's all an opinion because nobody's come out with it as far as fact is concerned. But that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean?
Got you, bro.
Can I just ask one question?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Something general consensus, right? When the fact is, Bud has had a bigger name than Errol Spence, so usually the A-side fighter, well, traditionally is the fighter with the bigger name who has the bigger payday. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is if general consensus, which could in fact and in theory, general consensus are sometimes horribly wrong, way off.
So let me just real quick before that, I just want to say when I say general consensus, I mean general consensus among Errol Spence fans. Very specific. Very specific.
Yeah.
But one thing, bro, like Bud is the bigger name. How, bro?
Because Bud been pound for pound much longer than Errol Spence was even really noticed.
Pound for pound ain't got nothing to do with your name.
He's lineal in 2 weight classes.
But I feel you, bro. And shout out to Bud for those great accomplishments. But that ain't got nothing to do with his name recognition, bro.
Yes, it does. How the fuck are you? What? How does that work in your universe? How does that work?
Because your name.
Pound for pound,
I'm gonna tell you how, bro. I'm gonna tell you how, and I'm not gonna get. This is just a boxing conversation, bro. I'm not gonna come with you with no different type of energy. All I'm saying is, bro, like,
no, that's just my energy. I'm just
when you say bigger name, that would lead one to believe your sales. More people watch you fight. That's what a bigger name is. A bigger.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is, bro. In every walk of life.
No, it's not. Bro. You're talking to a consultant.
Let me land the plane, bro. Let me land the plane. And literally, every other. All right, man. In literally every other sport and every other walk of life, the person who is considered to be the bigger name is the person that brings in more revenue, has more fans watching them, bro. Like the biggest name in the NBA is LeBron, not because you think he's the best player, but his jersey sells. He sells out arenas no matter what's going on, no matter what his team is going on. the biggest name in football will be Tom Brady, no matter what's
Can I
going
interrupt
on.
because I got your point?
Nah, bro, because when I be quiet, I'm not gonna interrupt you, bro. So Tom Brady would be the biggest name because he has more viewership. He sells more merchandise. So when you look at Terence Bud Crawford and you look at Errol Spence Jr., I'm not taking shit away from Bud. Pound for pound, great job. Multiple division champion, great job. But when you look at their actual name and what they bring to the sport in terms of revenue, more people watch Errol fight, bro. More people pay to watch him fight, whether it's at the live gate or pay-per-view numbers. More people pay to watch him fight. So to say that Terence Crawford has a bigger name, that's just false, bro. It's just patently false.
So now let me explain to you the actual fact of business and numbers. So here's how it goes. To be a LeBron James, to be a Kobe Bryant, to be a whoever it was you mentioned in football, and to be a Terence Crawford, you have to have a skill level that's above and beyond everyone else. It's the skills that pay the bills. We all know that. That's absolute fact. So when you bring up fighters that have the best skill level, you have fighters who are famous. You have fighters like, let's see, like a Ryan Garcia, who would be in the media smashing because more people give a fuck about Ryan Garcia because he's he's a social media queen. So what you're saying, as far as sales, I can sell 100 tickets, right, for a venue for $10,000. You can sell 50,000 tickets for a venue for $100 or $50. It's who brings in the bigger pay. That's what you dudes don't understand about money. It doesn't matter how many fucking sales you have. It has everything to do with how much money did you end up with at the end of the day. Errol Spence is a fucking clown because if it's true that he sold 240,000 pay-per-views, you know what I'm saying, against Ugas, but the motherfucker only took home, 2.5 million out of out of damn near 18 million, it came down to 17,997 or some shit like that. When you do the math, I mean, bro, let's be real about this. A fucking a Yugo is or a Honda fucking any bullshit Honda car is much more on the road than a Bugatti. But a Bugatti is a fucking Bugatti. Not everybody could get that because not everybody's on that level. So when you do try to do this type of talking and it don't necessarily equate with what's going on out here, I have to tell you, I have to inform you guys that Bud Crawford is the bigger name. Not in the circles of fucking Spence fans, but overall in boxing, Bud Crawford is the bigger name. He's had more recognition. He's had more exposure. He's got more titles. He's the better fighter. He's not fighter. He's a better boxer. So if you can't understand that, then I don't know who you are. Are you a fan of boxing or are you just a fan of Errol Spence? Because I made the mistake with looking at it with Wilder and Fury. Because I always said prior to that, I think Fury's the one that beats Wilder because this big ass motherfucker is tall and look at his arms. And I don't know if Wilder could fuck with that.
Okay, you said a lot. So here's the thing, bro. Again,
hold on, knockout before you go. Hey, for those of you out there, man, who listening to this, my guy Knockout, he does a TKO debate series, y'all. So anybody
Knockout.
Anybody who you know what I'm saying, who you don't agree with anything he say, he open to all the smoke. So you know what I'm saying? You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to hop on here.
KD, can you just attest real quick before I cook? Can you attest to the fact that whether or not if say I'm not the one debating or I am the one debated, can you attest to the fact that when you went over there, wasn't no bullshit going on? You got your chance to cook and do your shit, and that your channel grew from it, and that we treated you right over there.
Oh yeah, 100%. If that wasn't the case, I wouldn't even talk about it. But hey, I went over there, I had me a debate. Hey, I got my time to say what I needed to say, all that good stuff, man. So you know, Y'all if y'all want to debate, y'all like talking boxing, you want to debate, be sure to go ahead and hop on over there to Knockout Boxing 86 over there, and he'll debate with you, bro. He about that action. So you know what I'm saying. Now the chat, the chat was crazy. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and because of your look, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. If you go back and check it out, because of your debate, because I'm gonna keep it real with you, I thought your shit was much closer than what the chat did. We're trying to find ways to improve, so I don't just allow the chat to be the only people that vote to see who won the round. So now the chat counts for one vote, and then I have two judges up there too that count for a vote, and whoever get 2 out of the 3 votes or 3 votes, that's who win that round. And the judges, they get put on the hot seat because when they tell you that a person won the round, they got to explain why they picked that person. So because of your debate, I changed some of the ways that we doing shit because I felt like it was much closer than what the audience was saying and shit. So we finding ways to try to improve. You know what I'm saying? But let me say this, bro, because you said a lot, and this is the issue that I'm having with you, bro. And not with you, with your opinion. Like everything you said about Bill, you start talking about how good he is of a fighter, right? How cold he is, how much skills he got in, and all of that shit, bro. I couldn't agree with you more. Bud Crawford can fight his ass off, bro. It's no shade if somebody tell me the only person that Errol Spence will lose to is Bud Crawford. It's no shade if I tell you the only person I think Crawford can lose to is Errol Spence. I think they both tremendous fighters. With that being said, though, where you missing the mark, in my opinion, like business and boxing comes down to who is generating more money. All that, who take home the more purse and all that shit. Devin Haney makes more money than Gervonta Tank Davis, bro. His purses are more than Gervonta Tank Davis, but Gervonta Tank Davis is the bigger name because Gervonta Tank Davis is the one that's fighting on pay-per-view consistently. He's the one that's breaking records for attendance. People actually go pay to watch him fight. So when you spitball that and you turn it into Terence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, no one's taking anything away from Terence Bud Crawford, but numbers are numbers, bro, and facts are facts. And at the end of the day, just one of Errol Spence's pay-per-view, that pay-per-view with Mikey Garcia did 360,000 pay-per-view buys. Terence Bud Crawford's entire pay-per-view portfolio did like 325,000 if you add all his pay-per-views up combined, bro. Errol generates more money when you look at that avenue just in one fight. We ain't even got to look at all his other fights, bro. When you look at the live gates, Terence Bud Crawford is not touching Errol Spence when it comes to live gates. Now, you can say that's because Errol got the better opponents over there because they better whatever.
Because the public won't go to that network.
I shut up for like 5 or 10 minutes while you was talking, bro. I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word, bro.
Go ahead.
So when you look at it from a perspective of who's generating the most money, who is the one that people pay to watch more, that's who the bigger name is. And unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, the facts are that Errol Spence is the bigger name because more people pay to watch him fight. That's no shade to Bud. That's not saying Errol has better skills than Bud. That's not what I'm saying. Now, that is my belief, but for the sake of this conversation, that's not what I'm saying, bro. Like, that has nothing to do with who generates more money. For instance, I believe that Devin Haney is a more skilled fighter all around than Tank. Now, I think Tank beats him because of the knockout power and shit, but if you just go overall, who would you want in terms of a skill perspective? Devin Haney might be a more skilled fighter than Tank Davis. That argument can be made, but you can't argue that he a bigger name than Tank. Dimitri Bivol proved in the ring. He proved in the ring, bro, that he is a better, more skilled fighter than Canelo Alvarez. That don't make him a better name, bro. That don't make him a bigger name. Your name is based on how many people pay to watch you, bro. And Terence Bud Crawford is not close to Errol Spence in terms of the people willing to pay to watch him fight, bro. And those are just facts. Now, before you rebuttal, I would just please ask you, and I always do this when I come on these panels, bro. Before you rebuttal anything that I said, I just ask one simple question. Tell me one lie that I just told.
No, you didn't tell any lies. But what I'm gonna rebuttal specifically is what I'm gonna rebuttal is your general consensus about the fighter making more money because he has more viewerships and more people are paying to see him. It's one way that you could do this right now while I'm talking to you. You could either take your phone if you got a tablet, or you can simple open another bar and you tell me what you see. Just Google Terence Bud Crawford's net worth, because it'll always come up when you bring his name up. Then you Google Errol Spence net worth, you can go back to now. Here's the caveat when you do this. What you will see for 2022, those numbers will be from 2021 because this thing always is generated at the end of the first fiscal quarter. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's the way the financial market goes. It goes in 4 quarters. So at the end of the first quarter, Forbes and every other fiduciary magazine will give you a list of the top earners in everything, no matter where you go. Now, here's the caveat. Here's another caveat. When you look at it, the general, no matter how many ones you look at, you'll see Errol Spence net worth for 2022, even though those numbers are for 2021, what he generated in 2021 was $7 million, right? For Bud Crawford, it's $8 million, and it always has on the bottom, Bud Crawford has a $6 million salary. I don't know what that means. I don't know how that equates to anything. You feel what I'm saying?
But I do something about his purses. The $6 million was his purses. But go ahead, bro.
It'll go back to 2018. You'll even see reports in 2018 where Errol Spence's net worth was around $2 million, and between 2018 and 2022, he jumped significantly because I guess his name started to get that recognition, and PBC said, "Yeah, we'll cut you a check for more than $500,000 for a fight, and we'll give you more than maybe $1 million for your pay-per-view sales." Now, here's my whole point. Errol Spence, yes, does amazing numbers in sales, but that doesn't mean he takes home that money that he's generating, because the company he works for is a marketing and PR company. They're not a network. ESPN is everything all in one. It's one-stop shopping. Meanwhile, PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, are a subsidiary of Showtime, and Showtime was going to get rid of them if Floyd and Al didn't step up. They was going to get rid of it just like fucking Showtime. I mean, just like HBO got rid of their boxing program because the numbers weren't there. PBC has had issues with fighters taking, people taking them to court and shit like that, and for fudging numbers, saying these are the numbers from this, and that's not what it is, because your fighters pay don't reflect the numbers that you're saying you're charging for pay-per-view, right? And then what these fighters actually make. Because if you saying what you saying, Errol Spence Jr. fucking net worth should be well above $20 million by now. It should at least be above $10 million.
Hey, what he should be worth, and what Bud Crawford is worth, and what he should be worth, that's a matter of opinion. What is a fact is that has nothing to do. What's a fact? Hold on, bro. Let me go. What's a fact is that everything that you just mentioned about their net worth, about Bud being worth this, Errol worth this, all of those things that you mentioned have nothing to do with the revenue that one generates in the ring, bro. It has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it when
you're talking about, brother. You're talking about how
home if the fighter has more money.
You're talking about how much somebody got paid, bro. How much somebody got paid got nothing to do with the revenue that they generate, bro. Those are two completely different things. Bud maybe got
it is two different things, but it has everything to do with
maybe Bud Crawford. Maybe you're right. Maybe Bud Crawford got a better deal with ESPN by getting them high ass guarantees. That's cool. No issue there. But his net worth, this net worth argument, that means nothing when it comes to who generates the most money, bro. It means absolutely nothing at all.
Let me try to explain this to you. Furthermore, hold on. Let me ask you this question. Your fighter take low balls on the guarantee, and then it's reliant. It's 100%.
Furthermore, bro, I asked you to tell me where I was lying. And you said I can't tell you where you was lying. Everything you said was all facts. So if everything I said was all facts, I don't understand why we even continuing the conversation.
we're continuing in the conversation. I didn't say. I said you were correct. I didn't say it was fact. I can't agree to something I'm about to debate or challenge, and I call it fact because
you're
then I'm
debating.
an idiot.
You're debating.
I said you're correct. I said
What
you're
if
correct
I-
in the fact
what
that
if I
Errol
said this debatable,
Spence
bro?
is for sale, but he
What
doesn't
if I
take
said? What
home
if I said
more
this
money
debatable,
than
bro?
Bud. Let's get it straight. Don't try that BS shit with trying to twist my words on me. Let's keep it exactly.
Bro,
I know what I said.
I'm knockout, bro.
I said
I
exactly.
can only be me,
I
bro.
said exactly. I said
What did
exactly.
What did I say that's debatable?
I said
Can I ask you that?
exactly.
Let's start there. Since you want to debate so bad, what did I say so far that's debatable to you?
What did you say so far that's debatable to
Yeah,
me?
what have I said that's
the fact
debatable,
that you keep saying Errol Spence takes home more money than Bud. That's a fucking
I didn't
lie.
say that. KD, did I say that Errol takes more money than
he
Bud?
generates more money, so he has to take
we got somebody
more
that's
money.
impartial. We got
Maybe
somebody
you're
that's
not listening to yourself.
No,
Maybe
no.
you so used to those talking points.
We got
You
somebody
forgot
that's
how to
impartial.
listen to yourself.
Hold on real quick, AC. Knockout never said that he brings home more money. Knockout said that he generates more money. That's what he's saying. He generates more money as far as
I heard the man say, I could have sworn I heard the man say, maybe my joint flipped out because I'm still getting this weird ass echo that started again. Maybe it sounded for me, it sounded as if he said what's the name? Because he generates more money, he makes more money. So if I'm looking at that, and if that's your argument, I'm telling you the fact that Bud makes more money. You're telling me no.
That's not
So,
my argument though. So we can start
so
right
that's
there. I
not your
never
point.
said.
Hold on. Quick pause, y'all.
Okay,
Let me just
so-
shout. Hold on. Quick pause, y'all.
I don't have nothing else to say because I can't argue with a person that doesn't want to accept that the sky is blue. If we all can't agree that the sky is blue at this time of day, being in the United States, whether you're on the East Coast or the West Coast, then it's difficult for me to try to speak in a sense of common sense, because here's the fact. I said just Google net worth. You're telling me about sales. Okay, sales are sales, right? But then there's the argument that everyone keeps saying Spence makes more money than Bud. Spence is the bigger draw. Spence is this, Spence is that. And I'm just trying to reiterate the fact that if you simply Google these dudes' net worth, you will see who makes the most money. It doesn't matter if people are buying a lot of your shit. It's like a bag of weed. Do you want quantity or quality? Me, I'm going with quality all fucking day. So all of that other quantity stuff, I don't give a fuck about that.
Quick pause, AC, and what you're saying. Let me shout some people out real quick, man. Got some people in the building. Salute the Teach in the building, man. Salute the G Money in the building. My guy, Soul Rebel Boxing, also in the building, man. One of my day one subscribers, man. Salute to you, fam. I also got World Combat Sports also here in the building, man. Salute to you, fam, for coming through. Appreciate you for coming on through, man. Combat. My guy Daniel Firo also in the building. Salute to you. Who else we got in here, man? Valerie Nipper also in the building. Salute to you, fam. Absolutely. Yahweh in the building, man. Also one of my day one subscribers, man. Salute to you. Third Eye in the building, man. Salute to you. My guy, hold on, man. My OTB Boxing School. Salute to you, fam, for coming on through, man. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, sir. He say he had to come back after the debate. I appreciate it, man. It was a lot closer. Yeah, man. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you for coming on through, man. Wayne's World Podcast. Salute to you for coming on through as well, man. Who else we got, man? Just want to shout some people out, and then y'all can get back to it. Vinny Idol, salute to you, fam, for coming on through, man. All right, man, y'all can continue as you were.
But all I'm saying is, just to get back to the main topic, it's a 50-50 fight because of everything that Bud brings to the table and everything that EJ just doesn't bring to the table. You feel what I'm saying? It's a 50-50 fight because you're looking at one guy who has 3 belts in one weight category versus a 2-division lineal champion, a former undisputed champion moving up in weight to fight for a second undisputed joint. If it ain't a 50-50, all that close to 50-50, you're just detracting from Terence Bud Crawford, which I think is going to be more fuel for that dude to really put the put the brakes. I mean, to beat the brakes off of EJ, and just knowing Bud Crawford, you feel what I'm saying, and knowing fucking Spence. You know, I keep trying to tell people, listen to Porter. Porter telling you how this fight gonna go, because
I think we can all agree Bud gonna be EJ, right? Knockout.
Man, hell nah, bro. Hell nah.
Porter said it like this. He said, in my fight versus EJ came into that fight prepared to beat me at my game. Spence came in, Bud came in that fight prepared to beat me at his game. Bud got the earlier stoppage. If EJ comes in there and tries to box Bud, EJ is going to have a short night. That's a guarantee.
Okay, all right. Give my guy Knockout a chance to respond. Do you want to respond to anything that AC had to say, Knockout?
Nah, bro, ain't really shit to respond to, man. We can talk about that 50-50 joint though, about what Bomac said, bro. That's cool. Like, I think that's a fun conversation. That's what the show was about anyway. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, it's pointless, bro. It ain't really no point, man, having arguments with me that I ain't even having with him, bro. Like,
I'm not arguing with you, homie. Don't get emotional. Don't get your feelings in it. I'm just from Brooklyn. The way we talk, we passionate about what we talk about.
No, I'm not.
It's all good. It's all good. We just gonna get back. We just gonna get back on topic. We just gonna get back on topic though. Hold on. So Knockout, you never got a chance to respond to what I was saying earlier.
You got a super chat from World Combat real quick, I think.
Oh, okay. I ain't see it. Okay, here we go. Let me read that super chat and then you can go on and cook. World Combat says, hell yeah. We agree, Bud stepping on Errol Spence all day. Victim number 7 at welterweight. Oh yeah, man. Knockout know. He don't want to admit it right now.
Y'all know I do the bets. Anybody want to bet? Just come holler at me.
You know what time it is. Go ahead, Knockout.
Like, so on the 50-50 shit, like, I ain't saying this is the thing, bro. Like, facts are facts. Like, I don't really care what they get, but I can look and say, like, yo, nah, based on the numbers, this is what this is. Based on the numbers, this is what that is. So I don't really care if he get the shit, he get the shit. Like, that's cool. But what I do have a problem with is this attitude, like, even in the interview that you played. So Bomac's stance is, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we got the leverage. We got the belt that he need. If he want this, then shit, you know what I'm saying? He gonna have to come up out that 50-50. The issue I have with that is that, didn't your fighter say that he want undisputed too? Like, didn't your fighter say that he want to be undisputed at 147, then he gonna move up to 154 and beat the shit out of Jermell Charlo too? So don't Spence got some shit that y'all want too? Like, what's up with the soft ass, like, nanny boo boo, we got the last belt? Like, what's up with that shit, bro? Like they don't have nothing that y'all want. Like, that shit just sound like somebody that ain't confident, bro. Like, well, shit, we got the last belt that he want. You know, if Errol want this, then he gonna have to give up the 50-50. Well, what about him having some shit that you want? And even in his most recent interview, bro, like, this is what be killing me about your mans, bro. Even in his most recent interview that he just did on the Porterway podcast that everybody's reacting to, it dropped 2 days ago, he even said it again, bro. Well, shit, I don't need Errol Spence, you know. I want him. I want the fight. I don't need him because I'm going to the Hall of Fame without him. Like, all that old shit, like, bro, if your career is over and you already going to the Hall of Fame, then just retire, homie. But if you still in this shit,
Wilder say the same thing, you don't need to fight again.
Bro, like, you keep cutting me off, fam. Like, but you calling me emotional. Let me talk, bro.
Okay, so I just mentioned Wilder because you mentioned that.
Let me finish. Whatever question you got, I don't be talking while you talking, fam. I don't. I let you cook.
Okay,
so my issue with it, KD, is very simple, bro. Like, I think they both should have what each other want. I think they both should be talking about, he got what I want. I'm hungry. I want to go take that shit up off of him, bro. I don't like the attitude of we got what he wants, so that give us leverage. So he need to give us a 50-50 if he really want what he wants. So are you trying to win? Like, do you want the shit too? Like, where's that shit coming from? So that's the issue that I have with it, bro. If they can negotiate that shit and get that shit, they get it, bro. But using that shit as some sort of, like, trinket to hold over the man's head, that's the shit where I'm like, nah, that shit ain't a good look. Maybe you shouldn't be talking like that, because I guarantee you, bro, the homie AC, my brother KD, if this dude Errol Spence came out here right now today, if he dropped the quote right now and said, look, bro, this is what it is. I got 3 of the belts that Bud Crawford want. I got 3 of the belts that he wants. Shit, and if he want to be undisputed at 147 pounds, he gotta give me that 80-20. He gotta give me that 85-15. If he said that shit, bro, y'all niggas be like, yo, Earl, that's some weak ass shit. Don't you want to be undisputed too? Don't you want to go after that shit too? Like, what's up with that shit? Bud got what you want, but you got what Bud want, but Bud ain't got nothing you want. Like, bro, y'all would cook that man, bro, for saying some old weak ass shit like that. So all I'm asking, if we boxing fans and shit, let's keep the same motherfucking energy and say, nah, that ain't no good look, bro. Like, you supposed to be going after undisputed the same way he going after undisputed. Like, as long as a fighter is active and still chasing, you know what I'm saying, them bags and chasing that big time money, shouldn't we expect him to continue to go after the best and talk like he's somebody that hungry? So I didn't like that quote from Bomac, but that shit don't sound like somebody that's ready to compete, like somebody that believe in a fighter, bro. And that's all I got.
Okay, hold on. Let me hold on. Before you go, let me respond to what he said real quick. So he go the thing for me, knockout. Like, honestly, if what you were talking about, if Bomac had said this a week ago, I feel like you have a much better stance and a much better leg to stand on with the points that you made. But the facts are that this video that you're referring to, this statement from Bomac, this was about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, right? So the issue with that is you got to think about what was going on around that time, right? That was around the time Errol Spence was still talking about 60, 40, 70, 30, or whatever I give you, right? We were still playing little games back and forth as far as splits was concerned, right? So that's what was happening around that time. This was way before we got into any kind of negotiation talk or anything like that. So the circumstances were a lot different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, now, honestly and truly, it didn't look like he was being petty. There was no pettiness behind it. He was just, if you go back to the interview and listen to it, he just gave his thoughts like, look, if Errol Spence want to make this fight, you know, it's 50-50, which he believes that they deserve 50-50. I believe that they deserve 50-50. There's a good amount of people that believe that they deserve 50-50. Now, do I think it should be no fight? 50-50 or no fight? Nah, I ain't gonna go that far that it should be no fight. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we got to think back to what was happening around that time in order to even properly be able to discuss the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he would have did that a week ago, yeah, you know, you would have a very good point. You know what I'm saying? But this was almost 2 years ago that Bomac made that statement. This was around the time that Errol Spence was still on the easy route. This was around the time that Errol Spence was still saying 60, 40, 70, 30, whatever I give you, and then came back and then said, oh, I was joking. This was around that time. So, you know, I think that what Bomac said has to be put in the proper context. And really, that's what this live is about, you know, putting things in the proper context. Because if he had said that a week ago, yeah, I would have a problem with it. One, because we shouldn't be talking. We've already found out the hard way that all this split talk don't get fights done in the public. You know what I mean? So, but this was a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. So, you know what I'm saying? So I
know the interview you talking about and the one you played. I'm referring to the tweet that came out 2 weeks ago. That shit was recent.
Oh, the tweet?
Yeah, it was a tweet that came out from some dude named Calderon Boxing with him in the picture of Bomac, and then he said the exact same thing that Bomac said in that video. But either way, bro, like at the end of the day, if he said it a year and a half ago, if he said it a week ago, even if he said it a year and a half ago, that was still at the time where Errol Spence was the bigger name. That was still at the time where Errol Spence was the bigger draw and had 2 belts. So it was still at a time where, like, bro, like 50-50, like he don't have shit you want. Bro, it's just the attitude for me. I don't even give a damn what they get, KD. All I'm saying is, bro, people, like, I ain't saying you, but a lot of Crawford fans, bro, it could have been a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. If Errol Spence or Derek James or anybody from his team, bro, if they took the stance of, well, shit, we got what Bud wants, so he got to give us what we want. We got the belt that he wants, so he got it, bro. People be cooking their ass, bro. Be going hard than a motherfucker on them, and rightfully so, because that shit is, don't nobody want to hear that soft ass shit, bro. That's all I'm saying. But look, bro, salute to you, fam. I got to get ready to run and shit, but you know, it's all love from this way, man. And AC, anybody in the chat, I see a lot of people disagreeing with me. Come holler at me, bro.
I get at you, knockout. Salute, bro. I'd love to debate you on another joint because I could see we could go at it on some real good.
We got no fades and no smoke around my way, bro. I will gladly open up my panel and debate you. And for anybody in the chat that thinks it's unfair, I will let you pick the judges. Okay, I will let you pick the topics. You can pick the topics and the judges, and I will cook you. Respectfully.
All right, I'm gonna subscribe to your joint, man.
There you go.
All right, KD, I holler at you. AC, I holler at y'all. Y'all boys be easy, bro.
Hey,
All right, bro.
that's gonna be easy, fam. Yeah,
This
man.
is what I'm. This is what
man.
I'm saying, Boxer Doc. This is what I'm saying, Boxer Doc. See, here's the issue. I knew when I saw that Porter's Way interview and Bud said that, I knew everyone was going to take that out of context.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? With the simple fact, because they didn't go into the what was said prior to that by Sean Porter when he asked the question, and they're not going to mention what Bud said after the fact when he explained why he said I don't need to fight, and the fact that he said no, I don't need to fight. I'm gonna be in the Hall of Fame. I could go up to 154 and try to become undisputed there, but I don't need this fight right here, right now. But I want this fight because no matter where I go, I put a video of running with me and my kids or me and my kids playing. All I'm hearing in the comments is everything. Well, what about Spence? What about Spence? And he said, I'm sure the same thing is going on with Spence. Spence can't do nothing without nobody asking him, what about Bud? And he said, I know Spence is just sitting there like, come on, man. I'm tired of hearing about this motherfucker's name. Let's just fight. And he said, with that being said, that's why, the fight's going to get made. It's just, the fans and some of these YouTube and media channels got to stop, trying to say things that, ain't really there. But we both want the fight. You know what I'm saying? But I don't need the fight, but I want it. And I only mentioned Wilder when he was talking because Wilder came out and said before the Fury fight, you feel me? And he said it recently. I don't need to fight anymore with all my investments and everything. I'm good, but I just want to do this because I feel like I got unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not gonna ding Wilder for saying it, but we're gonna hold the whole world accountable and put it all on Terence Crawford's shoulder because he said he don't need the fight, but he wants it.
It's real funny, AC, that a lot of people want to jump on that bandwagon, but Errol Spence said the same thing in an interview with Brian Custer. He said he don't need the Terence Bud Crawford fight. Like, he'd be okay. He could still be a great fighter without Terence Crawford and without getting the fourth belt. But the thing about it is, it's more the Terence Crawford fight, as far as Errol Spence's legacy, is way more important for Errol Spence than it is for Terence Crawford as far as his legacy is concerned. Yeah. And that's the difference. So my thing is, if you're going to get on Bud Crawford for saying that, then you got to keep the same energy for Errol Spence. But the fact is that Errol Spence, at this particular point in his career, isn't a Hall of Famer. So Bud has more of a leg to stand on with that conversation than Errol, but Errol said the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
Right before the Ugas fight, he was saying the same thing. I could play the interview because I did a video about the shit, but I ain't gonna do that because I think a lot of y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. But we're gonna keep it moving with all that. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, AC. You were still cooking?
Yeah. I'm still cooking, and all I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, like Espinoza and other people came out and they trying to tell YouTubers, especially fans of Errol Spence Jr., y'all gotta stop, man. Y'all gotta slow down because y'all doing a little bit too much. But these dudes ain't getting it. You feel what I'm saying? To the point where you got drunk dudes trying to talk crap to Bud Crawford, and he's asked why you being a bully, and the dude's coming out his face, what? You don't want it with me. And it's like, what? Bro, half you niggas couldn't even beat motherfucking Bud Crawford's sister. She'll beat the shit out of half y'all. So shut up, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, nah, man. So salute to some of the new dudes that done pulled up here in the chat, man. My guy L Boogie. Salute to you, fam. You know what I'm saying? Done pulled up in the chat. You know what I'm saying? My guy Soul Rebel Boxing says 3-division champion, pound for pound #1, sell out his hometown as well. And he be hunting this dude for almost 5 years.
That's all facts.
These are facts, man. These are absolute facts, man.
Here's the funny part, and I actually put the video as one of my favorites. Me and BS, I've been a long standing supporter of BFTB. Was there, dumped a bunch of money in on his birthday a couple of years back when he wasn't expecting it and all that, and the Cash App and everything. But I kept on telling them, you know, I disagree with you when it comes down to this Bud stuff. Because here it is, you call Spence out for the thing I'm trying to tell you about right now, that Spence is the one who's been holding up this fight for the longest. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, now it's all Bud. I just want to know what was the change. You know, where did the change in attitude came from? Where you have multiple videos where you saying Spence could have fought this man right now. Why did he fight Mikey Garcia? Why did he fight Danny Garcia? Why did he go after these other guys that had nothing to give him, claiming he was cleaning up his side of the street? Cleaning up your side of the street, everyone took that as you're going to get all the belts of every fighter that is an easy fight to make because that's your side of the street, PBC. And then you're going to circle back around the block. You feel you're going to park on the other side of the street where the passenger can get out real easy. And you feel me? And you're going to make that happen. But yet you claimed you was going to make it happen after the Jeff Horn fight. But then you disappeared. Bud calls you out on it. Stops you in the joint. Everybody's there. And then you mentioned, well, Sean Porter got a belt. And you seen Bud's face like, is this motherfucker serious? Did you just mention Sean Porter? Wow, so you clearly gonna duck me. And that's the classic look. I said, oh my God, this nigga's a bitch. That's when I stopped fucking with Errol Spence. Because I saw it right there. He wouldn't even look Bud in the face after he said that. Because Bud, smaller than him, looking at him like, dude, I should steal on you right now. I should punch you in the face right now. Fuck that. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just adding dirt in the game, but at the end of the day, I don't understand how these Spence fans say Bud should take 40%. Bud should take anything Spence gives him because Spence does this, Spence is that, Spence makes more money, Spence sells more, Spence does this. When all you have to do is go to any fiduciary source and really look, and you'll see who makes the most money. I don't care if you sell out a packed arena. If it ain't going in your pocket, you being played, homie.
Right.
You being played. Do I want to watch the stupid guy fight all the time? Do I want to? Me being a black man and supporting another black fighter, am I gonna pay for his pay-per-view knowing that this man ain't gonna see a portion of my money because Showtime, Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather are going to pocket the lion's share. And whatever crumbs are left over, I'm getting.
And to take it even a step further, it just came out that Usyk and Fury agreed to a 50-50, even though Usyk has 3 belts, Fury has 1 belt. Spence can do 50-50 for Crawford. And even with Wilder, when he fought Fury the first time, that was 50-50.
50-50.
And Wilder, when Fury was going to fight AJ, that was going to be 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Even though AJ is the bigger draw, even though AJ had 3 belts, and Fury had 1 belt at the time, it was going to be a 50-50 split among the heavyweights. Because the thing is if you really want the fight, you're going to do what it takes to make the fight. Even if you are, quote unquote, the bigger draw by some, right? Because a lot of Errol Spence fans like to make it seem like Errol does way better numbers than Bud Crawford.
Oh, Errol sells 200 million pay-per-views.
Yeah, but my thing is if Errol does such better numbers, if he's such a big pay-per-view draw and he's such a big fish like what a lot of these dudes like to make it seem like, why does it look like Bud may have to take a pay cut guarantee-wise in order to fight him? Which is something that we've never seen in the past before when it comes to A sides and B sides, right? You can't tell me that Errol Spence is a cash out. Bud got to take a pay cut to get in the ring.
It's a Devin Haney, George Kambosos, and they don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that, and they're gonna argue you down no matter how many times you try to talk about the actual numbers. They're gonna say, "Well, how you telling me about numbers when I'm looking at the sales? I'm looking at how much he did in these sales, and if he sold this, and that. This is why Bud can't come to the table and be demanding all of this money." Who said Bud came to the table and demanded money? You was there,
right?
You feel what I'm saying? Bud is guaranteed a $6 million. So if he's used to that $6 million guarantee, how is he demanding 20? How is he demanding 50? How is he pricing himself out? Okay, granted, Errol Spence highest guaranteed pay was $1.5 million up against a guy whose guaranteed pay over his last 3 fights was well over 1.5 million, 4, 5, and 6. Who's out pricing who when this is what I'm used to being paid and this is what you're used to being paid? Here's the thing that you keep that they won't let you get to either. They'll keep cutting you off and keep trying to talk about sales when you say PBC is a PR and marketing company. Their pay to their fighters is contingent on big pay-per-view shows that they have to put a lot of money into, with all the epilogues and this and that and all the pre-fight and having a guy, come and talk to the PBC fighter and, all of these like little mini documentary series that they put on to build the fight. That shit costs money. You feel what I'm saying? Showtime allocates them that money because Showtime says, all right, whatever these pay-per-views are, you already know my cut. So here's your budget, make it work, and we'll collect this money. How much is guaranteed to the fighter? So at the end of the day, you have a company that's contingent on sales, while the other company is not contingent on sales. It's just contingent on this minimal amount of viewership. And they don't understand these simple business concepts. I don't need to have big pay-per-view, although we would love to, you know what I'm saying? So we're still weighing out pay-per-view over streaming because we kind of do a mixture of both, and we're running a test to see which one does well. Yes, it may affect our overall viewership because we don't put in all the other crazy stuff like PBC, which is king at all of that, putting together a fight card. Can't nobody dispute that. The Zone is number 3. ESPN is number 2. You feel what I'm saying? The way they have all the lead up, all the documentaries and all the shows. So PBC needs these big lead ups, which cost money, which then detracts from money from the fighter, which then they can't offer a 50-50 split for a fight at this magnitude because they know all the epilogues and everything to get the money up to at least pay their fighter and to cover their expenses, the film crew, cameras, lighting specialists, gifts, and everyone that goes into making these documentaries and all of that, the announcers. All of these people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. This has to be a $20-30 million gross fight minimum, or we're going to have issues with paying our fighter. So Bud Crawford, we don't want the issue. So can you accept a pay cut? Well, let me talk to my lawyers and my accountants, and it all depends on how much money you're talking. I gotta, how much money I got. I'm not gonna make. At the end of the day, it's a broadcasting issue. It has nothing to do with Bud or Bomac or anyone else. The fighters are done. The fighters are done. This is why they can't talk, because it's out of their hands. They signed their contract. They already know that the fight is going to happen. The issue is what network? Who's going to be the big dogs with the networks? Who's going to take home the lion's share of that money that's generated? And ESPN is a much bigger conglomerate than Showtime. It's one of the biggest, or probably the biggest, sporting network in the USA.
Okay, I wanna bring up facts. So I'm gonna bring up a real point, and then I'm gonna give you your closing thoughts, and then I'm gonna go ahead and.
I'm good. That was my closing thought. I'm good.
Oh, that was your closing thought. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So I'm gonna bring up this point real quick, man. A lot of Errol Spence fans like to bring up Bob Arum, as far as like Bob Arum, and they like to reference Bob Arum. They like to say, use the quote where Bob says, well, I lost a house in Beverly Hills, right? That's the quote they like to use, right? But my thing is, they bring up that quote, but they never bring up the quote. They never bring it up when Bob says that Spence versus Garcia did less than 120,000 pay-per-views, right? They never bring up when Bob said that the PBC was lying about their pay-per-view numbers. They never bring that up, right? You like to quote Bob Arum, but why don't you use the quotes that don't favor your argument? Like when he says that PBC is fabricating their numbers, right? But that's going to be a whole separate type of lie, right? Because I just don't like the picking and choosing when it comes to that. But even so, right? Even with all that being said, right? Just to go back to the point. At the end of the day, it's like this. Bud Crawford should be making 50-50. Why? Because he's the second half of the biggest fight in boxing. That's one, the most fundamental reason. But two, Steven Espinoza said that the fight should be, if it ain't 50-50, it should be very close. Steven Espinoza, president of Showtime Sports, right? Affiliate of the PBC, is making statements like that, which if Steven Espinoza can say that, I don't get why anybody would try to argue against it, because that in itself kills that whole 60-40 argument. The fact that Steven Espinoza is saying that it's 50-50, right? And then you take into consideration the fact that Bud has a belt, which is something that Errol Spence has already said that he wants. And I get that Bud Crawford wants Errol's belts, but Errol wants Bud's belt. Bud is not the reason. Bud is not saying 60-40, 70-30, or 80-20. Errol Spence is saying that. So we got one guy who's saying 50-50, and we got another guy. So essentially what a lot of Errol Spence fans are saying is that 60-40 is so unreasonable. I'm sorry, 50-50 is so unreasonable, so much so to the point where it's a deal breaker on why the fight can't happen. Even though Errol gave Mikey Garcia a 50-50 split, and he made the same demand over a year ago before they fought, right? But a lot of Errol Spence fans don't want to talk about that. They don't like talking about the facts. But again, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the live. Let me look at this poll real quick before I do that. So again, the poll that I have here is, do y'all agree with Bomac? We played the interview and we listened to what Bomac had to say. So 54% of everybody said yes, big facts. They agree with what Bomac said, and I happen to be a part of that congregation. 21% of everybody says no, he should make the fight anyway, right? 12% of everybody says the fight ain't happening. I know my guy AB is in that mix, right? And then 12% of y'all say that I don't care. So those are the final poll numbers, you know what I'm saying? And with that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap the video up. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button. But until next time, and I'm gonna holler at y'all. But actually, before that, man, let me shout out all my guys that was on here, man. Before I end the live, I gotta do that. Shout out to AP. Yeah, man. Shout out to you for coming through, man. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
For sure, man.
Yeah, man. And shout out to everybody that was able to hop on the chat. Knockout Boxing 86 TV. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be sure to subscribe to Knockout Boxing. AC, do you have a boxing channel? Oh, he already left. Okay, subscribe to my guy Knockout Boxing 86 TV on YouTube. He does this TKO debate series, man, which is a pretty good little thing, man. If you like debating and talking boxing, he give you your time to shine. It ain't nothing where he cutting anybody off or anything like that. You get your time to cook and you make your points. It's a real professional type setting, man. I really like the TKO debate series, man. I may even do another one in the near future. You know what I'm saying? But it's a real good little vibe over there. Be sure to subscribe. And if any of y'all want to debate, y'all can go ahead and hit up Knockout Boxing 86 TV for a debate. Subscribe. Also shout out to my guy AB, one of my day one subscribers, for hopping on the channel or hopping on the chat. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody that's in the chat. My guy GK Black, Soul Rebel Boxing, G Money, Philly Swag Boxing. You know what I'm saying? Sleep with one eye open. You know what I mean? WJ Lucky also here in the building. My guy L Boogie also here in the motherfucking building, man. Big Demon, you know what I mean? Third Eye, you know what I mean? Teach in the building, man. My guy World Combat Sports came through today with the $10 super chat. Really appreciate you for coming on through and showing some love to your boy. Who else we got on here, man? My guy Daniel Furo also here in the building, man. Salute to you. Salute to my guy Yadaway also in the building. You know, man. Just salute to everybody, man, for coming on through, man. I really appreciate y'all, man. I ain't gonna be able to get through everybody, but I really appreciate y'all, man. Again, man, if y'all new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, man, I'm gonna holler at all of y'all. Peace.